Hello. Welcome everyone to the third day of the Aimchess Rapid 2022. This is your host Sagar Shah, and today is going to be an amazing day. Before we get going, here's your standings right in front of you. Nadirbek Abdusattorov leading the tournament with 17 points. Shakhriyar Mamedyarov on 16. Magnus Carlsen on 16. Duda on 15. Arjun Erigaisi on 15. Gukesh 12. Vincent 12. Anish Giri 12. You can see the points on the right. We also have Richard Rapport on 10. Vidit Gujarati on 10. Aditya Mittal on 9 points and Hari Krishna on 3, who has been struggling at this event, but today might be a different day. 4 rounds today, 3 rounds tomorrow, then the preliminaries will end. Top 8 will qualify to the quarterfinals, bottom 8 will get eliminated. Let's see what's going to happen here. Guys, a very warm welcome to everyone in the chat. I hope you are doing well. Let's go. Okay. Let's start first with the game. I think the game of this round. What is the game of this round? Magnus Carlsen taking on Gukesh. That is definitely the big clash of the round, and it's going to be great fun to see these two players pitted against each other. So let's get it cracking. There we have the game on the board, and also we have Magnus and Gukesh right there in front of us. So Gukesh with white opens the game with 1 e4. Now remember, Gukesh is a predominantly 1 d4 player, right? If you see his games, he loves to open with the d pawn. But today against the world champion, he is ready to go e4, and that's the beauty of these youngsters. They are not afraid to experiment against anyone, literally anyone. e6, d4, d5. We have the French defense on the board. Knight to c3, the classical variation has been played, and knight f6. Not the whenever is not played. Guys, do you know what the whenever variation is in this position? How does that happen? Magnus is usually playing French to push, says Vignesh Subramaniam. Yes, recently he has been playing French for new ideas because Sicilian, his opponents will expect him to play. Yes, bishop b4 will lead to the whenever, and that's why knight f6, e5 by Guki, knight f d7 and f4. He gets his strong center here. Magnus breaks instantly. The knight comes out. The other knight attacks the center. Bishop to e3, a6. Black wants to sort of expand on the queen side. Queen d2, b5. And now, guys, one thing which I have learned, very important, and I'm going to transfer it to you, and you should never forget it in your life. Long castle is a mistake here. Can anyone tell because of what move? And this is very important in these variations of the French, that you don't long castle at this point of time. Oh, Vignesh says apparently Magnus is with Peter Heine Nielsen in Sweden training for Fischer Random. Vignesh, what beautiful information that you have. Thank you for sharing it, and that's amazing. You know, Magnus had said something like, I'm anyway going to lose my classical world title. It's time to win some more world titles, you know. So he's going to take the Fischer Random quite seriously, I believe. Okay, the move that we are looking at here, and what, well, two moves are possible, but essentially, like theme wise, what I wanted you to say is c4. Because once the pawn comes to c4, and this is mentioned by Anurag, Krish, Chess is More Than Fun, Love Chess, Beloglavi, Suvida, Slightly Scatty, Vivek, Abhimanyu and Alvin, is that once the king is parked on the queen side, b4 and queen a5, and the attack is just too strong. And so what white players do generally in such positions is they take. If they want to long castle, they first take it. Bishop takes, Bishop takes played by Gukesh. This is not particularly a great move, and also guys, remember Gukesh is not an e4 player, so he might go wrong here in the opening. Knight c5, bishop d3, taking control of the e4 square so that b4 and knight e4 doesn't come. Queen to b6, queen f2. Okay, he's looking here. b4 played by Magnus. Knight e2, Gukesh wants to take control of the d4 square here. And now a5 played. So with this, you know, what is Magnus Carlsen's idea here? With a5, what does he want to do? Can anyone tell me? Who's going to tell me? Yes, exactly. Very good point by all of you. Himang says SL Narayanan won the Fairness Open. Abhimanyu finished second. Wow, Indians dominating just about everywhere, guys. This is beautiful to hear. And SL Narayanan, I don't know, Himang, how many points did he gain? Because he was rated 2664, if I'm not mistaken. And if he's gained close to 10-12 ELO points, he would be closing in on the 2700 ELO mark. And the people who have given the right answer here: Bishop A6, Beloglavi, Devashish, Abdullah, Shreyas, Prashant, Aditya, Chess is more than fun, Rakshit, Ankita and Suvida. Yes, this is your bad bishop here. It's bad because you have the central pawns on the light squares and you want to trade it. So Bishop A6 is your plan. Gukesh castles, Bishop A6 played, and now Gukesh is like, Magnus, it's time for attack. F5 on the board. Well, Gukesh is going all out against the king here. Even if you castle, the king is going to come under pressure here. F5, such a move by Gukesh. What an interesting idea. Okay, first things first. Magnus says, I'm just taking this pawn. Gukesh, what's your plan? Tell me, what do you want to do? And you know, you want to really go and take this pawn, but it is not really possible because of a very specific reason, and that reason is very well, it's sort of straightforward, but I would like to ask you anyway, what's the move here? This is, we are on the live position, almost one move behind. He's gained 9.4 ELO points. Amazing. Raunak won La Nucia, gaining 17 points. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. That's superb. Bishop E2. Brilliant. All those who said Bishop E2, fantastic. Here and now, look at this. This has opened up. So I just go Knight B3 check. And you're going to lose the rook. So that's why you can't play this. And Gukesh says, I don't care about the pawn, Magnus. I am going Knight F4 to attack your D5 pawn. Magnus instantly defends it with Knight E7. E6 by Gukesh. Gukesh going all out. This is great fun. You know, the thing is, they are not afraid of anything. They're just attacking, just going all out. That is the way Gukesh is going in this. No, this is still theory, says Abhay Sharma. I don't know exactly. Let's have a look at our live board to see if this is theory or not. Maybe we can quickly check on the reference board if we can. E4, E6, D4, D5, Knight C3, Knight F6, E5, Knight D7, F4, C5, Knight F3, Knight C6, Bishop E3, A6, Queen D2, B5, DC, sorry, Bishop C5, Bishop C5, Knight C5, Bishop D3, Queen B6, Queen F2, B4, Knight E2, 563 games, A5, castles 508 games, 443 games, and King H1 is the main move here, by the way, guys. F5 played by Gukesh. 35 games still. E takes F5, Knight F4, 21 games. Okay. Fresinet, Bartel, Mastro, Vasilis. Guys, I'm using Chessbase 16 and live database to tell you this. 97 E6. Oh, 11 games still played here. But not by any player. Okay, Fresinet has played. So yes, it's been played bit, but not played so much by the top level chess. Okay, let's go back to the board because Magnus plays the best move in the position. He goes f6 and he tells Gukesh, I am not allowing you to open it up for you, because if you take here, then already knight e6 is a very powerful move. If you take with the knight, your queen is hanging, and if you take with the queen, then queen takes c5 is gone. With rook coming in, this is very dangerous. So that's the reason why f6, keeping it closed, but this does look scary. 11 minutes for Gukesh, 13 minutes for Magnus Carlsen. Let's quickly check some other games, because one very important game that's going on is, by the way, in the chat, some very important things being mentioned. India has now 9 players in top 100, which is amazing. That's, I think, the highest ever. Have to check it out properly. The other thing is that so many players have won tournaments. Raunak La Nusia, SL Narayanan Fairness. So amazing, guys. Thanks for all the updates. Magnus is sleepy a bit there, and he's looking very fit today. Maybe he's just gone on a run or something. Let's have a look at this game of Vidit Gujarati, who is taking on Jan Shistov Duda. Duda has been a tough opponent for Vidit always, but right now the position is around equal. It was a Scotch game where Vidit played this knight d2 system that he played against Aryan Tari at the European Club Cup, and Duda has had no real issues here to equalize. It seems like the position is equal, but Duda, we all know, is a huge fighter and he will continue to keep playing. Vidit will also try his level best, so it's an interesting game. Quickly, let's also look at Pentala Harikrishna versus Naroditsky. Interesting game that's going on here. Naroditsky playing the Nimzowitsch defense with e4, knight c6. Quite interesting. And in the end, it transposes into a Perk defense, or the Pirk's defense as they say. And Harikrishna has a nice position. I believe this is an important game for Harikrishna. If he wants to make a comeback in this tournament, he has to win today. Aditya Mittal playing against Anish Giri. This is a very nice game. Remember Anish Giri tweeting about Aditya Mittal and his singing abilities. I do remember and recollect that. Right now the position is equal. The game was a semi-slav that happened, and Aditya holding his own quite well against Anish in this position. It's around equal. And also, let's have a look very quickly at the game of Arjun. Where is Arjun? Who is he playing against? Arjun Erigaisi is playing against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Oh my god, that's a big game. Arjun Erigaisi against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, and they have played some line. Oh my god, look at what Arjun played. He played the Ivan's Gambit. Anand Tiger Eyes Buffalo, thank you so much, says 9 Indian players under 100, so 9 into 100. Thank you so much for 900 rupees, Anand. Bishop b4, c3, bishop e7, d4, d6, de, knight h6. Wow, Shakhriyar showing some preparation here. Queen d2, not a great move by Arjun. Where say ed6 is the main move here, but he goes queen d2, knight e5 de, queen takes h6, queen d6, and okay, interesting chess. Arjun actually using this event to play some enterprising chess. Ivan's Gambit is not very common. Yeah, Agad Matar really loves this opening, so he will definitely make something on this. Let's quickly check what happened. Now Gukesh makes a very weird move, very weird. He goes rook c1. Like, look, there is one file here, there is another file here. You would imagine that the two rooks will sit there, but instead he goes rook c1, and you begin to question what is the logic behind putting your rook on c1. Maybe you think for a bit and you realize that after castles you want to take on a6. Rook a6 is forced because otherwise you lose a piece. And now maybe Gukesh wanted to play c3. I think this was his plan. But Magnus will now just take knight e6. And this position, now queens are being traded. If you count the pawns, black is 2 pawns up. Yeah, exactly. I think he should have played. By the way, guys, I can have only 9 players on the screen. I would have loved to have Mamediyarov here, but unfortunately I'm not able to put him there. Perhaps I can do it this way, and I can put Mamediyarov here. Yeah. No, I don't think it's a mouse slip. By the way, look what has happened now. Rook c1 castles. He played directly c3. Oh, interesting move. Because if you take bishop d3, there is knight d3 and the knight is still pinned here. You can't take with the knight because the queen is hanging. Okay. Very nice move by Magnus. You know, Magnus Carlsen in top shape right now plays queen to d6, bishop a6. Rook a6 has been played. Now the knight is attacked. Gukesh needs to be careful. He is in some sort of a trouble, I feel. Because look, if I take here, now I'm attacking with the queen and the rook. But black has a very powerful move. Anyone here wants to try? What should Magnus play here? Parth Thakkar says, Sagar it will be a draw and between Magnus and Gukesh. Don't worry. Parth, yesterday you were right about Arjun. I'm not going to take my chances today against you, but I do feel Gukesh is in big trouble today. Also, the position is not as complex as yesterday. And by the way, guys, look at my t-shirt today. This is something that was sent to me by the All India Chess Federation. They sent a sort of a box with many t-shirts and all for our team. And by the way, it has happened. Knight e4 has cb4 happened. Knight e4 has been played. And who are the people who have answered this? Let me just have a look here. Yes, we have Sangeet, Slightly, Abhinav, Abdullah, Ishan, Amritanshu, Amit, Govind, Alishan and Sumit Puri. Well done, guys. Excellent job. Knight to e4 has been played, and then queen moves up to e3, ab4, and knight to d4. Okay. Visually, I can tell you white's position doesn't look so bad. These two knights looking very pretty. But engines hate this position for white because he's a pawn down. Also, none of the pawns are hanging because the knight on e7 doing phenomenal job defending it. Also, black goes and captures another pawn. So these are some big problems that are being faced by Gukesh. But Gukesh moving quickly, Gukesh putting pressure on Magnus, but I don't think it's going to work. Mishti Agarwal says it was a mouse slip. Gukesh shook his head. Acha. Interesting. Ooh, Gukesh now moving to the 7th heaven. And guys, there's only one move for Magnus to keep the advantage now. But I think he will find it. You know, Magnus, pretty strong player, by the way. No, you can't take on b2 for now because e7 is hanging. You also can't take with the queen because there's no mate on g2. The knight is defending it. So you need to do something about this knight. Suvidha Rane, very good, very quickly. Beloclavi scoops, slightly scatty. Akshaj Patil, Apurup Kumar, very good. Abdullah Sheikh, Govind Mathur, Bhakti Chheda. Whoa! What? Rook e8, massive blunder by Magnus Carlsen. He had to play knight g6 here. But he's played rook e8. And all of a sudden, Gukesh completely winning after queen b6. What has happened? Guys, the big massive threat is rook takes e7, queen d8. And look at Magnus there. He can't believe what he has just done. Oh my god. For a moment, guys, I am going to just put Magnus and Gukesh on the screen because this is turning into something really, really huge for Gukesh. And you can see Gukesh knows he's got this man. Take here, and this is a threat. What a massive blunder. Also, let's think. Okay, so you want to take here, right? So king f8. Let's try to defend that. But now comes an unbelievably insane move. Insane. Guys, I can't believe this is happening right in the center of the board. Matlab, you know, you are in the center of a big city and you get trapped. Knight d3, Suvidha Rane, exactly isomaniac. Knight d3, queen trapped. Queen can't go here. Unbelievable. Magnus there can't believe this. And now Magnus just sitting back in his chair. He has 10 minutes to think. The engines give an evaluation of +8 for Gukesh. Guys, believe it or not, this position was -5 after knight g6, almost -4. And from there, it has jumped to +8. And Gukesh didn't even take like 10 seconds to play this. He played it so quickly. Also, knight d3 is big threat. Actually, rook e7 is not the main threat, guys. For example, if you play h6 here, knight d3 is the main threat. Because not rook e7, queen d8. It's still fighting position. But knight d3, queen is getting trapped. Unbelievable. And Magnus, it's slowly dawning on to Magnus here about what he has done. That he cannot stop this knight d3. Yes, exactly. Magnus is slowly realizing. And guys, it's not easy to realize this. Because you would think, oh, I can at least move the knight away. My queen will have space. And Magnus saying something there. He's like, you know, Magnus generally when he's upset, he speaks in Norwegian. And something he must be saying here. But, you know, if you move this knight, now knight d3 doesn't trap the queen, correct? Because now you have queen e6. But now comes rook e7. There are dual threats now. It's not just one, it's two threats. So then, you know, first Pragnananda entered the club of beating Magnus. Yesterday it was Arjun. And today it seems very likely that Gukesh is going to enter it as well. No, this was huge, guys. I would say that somewhere if Gukesh did not play queen b6, Magnus was completely okay. But then again, why did Magnus play knight g6? What was his reason to avoid a move like knight g6? Maybe he was afraid of knight h5, something here like on g7. Maybe that was the reason. He didn't want to allow that these pieces come and attack here. Which is only one check, by the way. Like if you play f4, rook g7, king here, there's nothing after that. But you know, your general instinct is, why should I give up even one pawn? Let me defend it. And in comes the queen to b6. And now, with 8 minutes on the clock, what is Magnus Carlsen going to do? Shakti Devaneshwar says, can Magnus take queen takes b2? yes, Shakti, this is possible, but you know there is no mate here. So I'm just going to chop this off. If you take here, it's a check, and you're going to not just lose the rook, it's a checkmate there. It's not even just losing the rook. You know, Magnus so angry, so angry. The anger is growing. You know how it is? First, you look at the board, you feel like, oh, I can't find a move easily. Then you look a little bit more, and then you say to yourself, oh my god, there's no solution. And then you look even harder, and then there's nothing. And then that desperation starts to dawn upon you. And this is what Magnus is going through. Different phases of uneasiness or not being able to find a move in this position. This is something that happens in chess often, and now he might even resign. He might say, कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है. What does he do? Paboji Manish Kumar says, come on, Sagar, this is too much of an exaggeration. What is exaggeration here? Magnus played rook e8 with the thought that he's completely fine. After queen b6, it was not like he instantly understood that he's losing. Otherwise, why would he play rook e8? Slowly, he started to think, oh, rook e7 is a threat. And knight d3, he saw maybe there is some way out of it. Maybe there is d4, maybe there is moving the knight. Nothing works, and then you suddenly start feeling desperate. And Gukesh, look at him. He's like, he knows he's got the win here. It's only a matter of keeping his calm. Yes, of course, Gukesh got lucky. For sure. I mean, there's nothing, it goes without saying that it was not like he played amazing move or something, but he did put Magnus under some pressure here with his pawns and knights moving in and so on. And then queen b6 came out of the blue. There is one, any moves that you guys can think of to save. Newton Xavier says knight g6, moving the knight. Interesting move. That's a good move, Newton, because if you play knight d3, queen e6 is possible. The rook defends. Very good. So guys, what should you do here after knight g6? Oh, he went knight g5, by the way. Knight g6, there's queen b7 and queen c6. Both are winning. And Gukesh chops off, rook takes e7, knight g5, rook e7, rook comes to a8. Okay. Gukesh is totally winning here. I mean, queen c7, threatening a check here, and queen takes. And now Magnus wants to play this check here. Maybe he's hoping for some nerves from Gukesh. Look at Magnus. He's turning around in his chair. He's so upset. He's so upset because, you know, he had got a great position out of the opening. And he's even exclaiming there after getting up from the chair. He's so angry there with himself. But Gukesh now has to control his nerves. This is an important moment for the youngster. Because yes, you are beating Magnus. And look at him very calmly there watching. But on the other hand, you really want to calculate it out. But the thought doesn't leave your mind. Oh, I'm going to beat Magnus. I'm going to beat Magnus. So how do you keep that control is the question. I think a very logical move here could be queen c7 because you trade the queens because there's a threat here as well. What other moves can you think of? Is queen b7 possible? Oh, suddenly horrible move. Look at this. Check, king h1, and now boom. And if you take here, back rank mate. So Gukesh because if he plays his queen to c7, then this is no longer hanging because he can take back with the queen and he wins and he finds queen c7. Good move by Gukesh. He's put his queen on c7. Great move. And now the queen needs to be traded. Okay, queen e3 check. I think Magnus might still go for it, but then there's no follow-up as such. Also, the question is, where is Gukesh's mate? Let's just imagine that he plays rook a1. So here's the mating idea, just so that you guys know. By the way, queen e3 check, king h1 has happened. And he resigns! He resigns! Gukesh has beaten the world champion. Magnus doesn't even play on here. Because here's the thing. Oh bhai. What a victory for Magnus, for Gukesh against Magnus. And people are saying that he becomes the youngest ever to beat Magnus in this Champions Chess Tour, because I think Prague was slightly older when he beat Magnus. But what a victory. Rook a1 here is met with rook g7 check, king h8, rook h7 check. Very important move. Knight h7. And guys, knight g6, king g8 and queen f7. That's the reason why there is nothing that black can do, and that is the reason why Magnus Carlsen has resigned. Gukesh winning it. What a game. Okay guys, let's take a moment to just sort of soak it in that this has happened, that Gukesh managed to beat the world champion. And yesterday it was Arjun, today Gukesh. Parth Thakkar says, you want me to make any more predictions? No, Parth. Well, unbelievable. Unbelievable what I saw this just now. Magnus blundering such a big move. Never ever has happened. So, I mean, he was +4. From that, he went to -8 because of this one move that he played, which was rook e8. And once he played that, Gukesh found this very quickly. Gukesh was so sharp. He was like waiting there. Unbelievable. Okay. So let's go to Vidit versus Duda. Very important game for Vidit. And meanwhile, Vidit, he's actually pressing here. What a move by Vidit. Look at this. He's pushed his pawn to e5. And his point is, if you take on e5, he wants to play rook e1. And you can't play f6 because the knight would hang. Deathmatch 2.0 is going to be epic, right guys? Because Deathmatch mein Gukesh beat Magnus. Yesterday Arjun beat Magnus. So both are fresh from beating Magnus. Manasvi Mishra, who's been pillar of Indian chess for 16 months. Thank you, Manasvi, says, Gukesh OP, what a crazy turnaround. First Prague, then Arjun yesterday. The next generation is coming. Magnus Lelo stress. Arey. Shekhar Narwal says, bye, kal interview hai. Parth Thakkar, please wish me luck. Parth Thakkar, yesterday when I said Arjun is going to be in trouble, he said, no, it's not going to happen. Arjun is going to at least get a draw or he's going to win. Something like that he said, and it happened. Today he said the same, it happened. So, okay, let's see. This is one game with it better, but how close it is to winning, not so clear. He's pawn up, he's pressing, he's definitely pressing. Meanwhile, Pentala Harikrishna f6, and his position is not really like amazing or something. It looks roundabout even. Also, let's have Arjun Erigaisi versus Shakruyar Mamedyarov. That's an important game that we were following. Here we have Mamedyarov and also Arjun on the screen here. Okay, interesting position. I think Mamedyarov would be happy right now because it's equal pawns. Yes, white's knight could come here to f5, but on the other hand, these pawns are weak. So black looks slightly better, but Arjun is very good defender and generally he does play well in such positions. So let's see how that goes. Let's quickly see what is the other game that we can look at. Anish Giri versus Aditya Mittal. Oh, wow. Anish is pawn up and he's definitely pressing here. Arjun's camera again sort of went off. I don't know what is his issue. Maybe his camera battery ran out or something like that. Yeah, let's have Aditya Mittal here with Anish Giri. Rook c4, queen here. I think Anish will be able to put a lot of pressure, although objectively this is still a draw with Aditya Mittal here fighting hard. And Arjun gets his knight to f5, but that is a mistake. Here Arjun should have taken king takes and played a5, and he's doing very well, but he's played knight f5 and he's missed something, which is to take, and now queen a2, attacking f2 and putting pressure here. This is very good position for black is close to winning here, so Arjun in trouble, and that is what has happened. Now Shakhriyar Mamedyarov looking very calm, confident and comfortable, because either you have to defend here with your queen, then you will lose this pawn, or if you bring your knight back, then after bishop e3, fe3, this endgame is very bad. The king will come here, he will lose all these pawns. Arjun may not be able to hold this. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati pushes his pawn to b5. And he is hoping that he's able to sort of convert this. Why didn't he take, by the way, the pawn on c7? Could Vidit have done that? Well, he did not like the fact that the knight was coming to f4 and taking this pawn here, and with Duda you really don't want to give counterplay. So Vidit here decided to go b5, keeping his knight on d5 so that the black knight cannot enter f4. Oh, Shazmanu says one very important thing, that still amazed Guki and Arjun beat Magnus and Aditya Mittal drew. Yes, exactly. So actually right now the score of Indians against Magnus and Vidit was very close to drawing. It could have been 3 out of 4. It's 2.5 out of 4. Hari will play against Magnus. Sai says, Gukesh, thank you so much, Sai, for being backer of Indian chess for 21 months. Says Gukesh, the youngest ever to defeat Magnus now. Okay, I'm not sure, because there are two types of youngest. One is when the player who beats someone on that very day is the youngest. The other is that in the history of ever that has been played is the youngest. I'm sure that someone younger than Gukesh has beaten Magnus. No? Never? I can't believe. After Magnus has become the world champion, Sai says. Okay. Also online chess, over the board chess, how do we... It's getting a little bit complex, no? To keep records. Yes, in CCT, I think definitely he's the youngest. But I think in the history of chess, after Magnus becomes the world champion, Gukesh is the youngest ever to beat him. Could be. Okay. I don't recollect anyone who has done that. Meanwhile, Arjun here really going out on a limb. He says, let me go queen f3. a5, knight at 6, b5. Shakhriyar wants to create a queen as soon as possible, and Arjun is going pawn grabbing here. Will he get any counterplay? Now, by the way, guys, crackers in the background being burst. Okay, maybe Diwali, but there will come a day in Indian chess when crackers will be burst for our players winning, not just for cricket. I think Hari Krishna having a great position. Daniel Naroditsky here blundering here because after rook d6 he could have taken on c2 and it's a draw, but he went f5 and he misses this move rook c6. What a big miss, because and you can see him shaking his head. This is exactly the breakthrough Hari Krishna needed, because now the rook can't take here, the pawn will queen and if the rook moves he'll take on b6 and then he has two connected passers. Ooh, and Naroditsky can't believe what he has just done. You know, guys, the emotions are huge in these events, because when you're low on time, you are bound to make errors. Rook e4, and now, I mean, Hari can go rook b7. Look at Hari Krishna there, very focused. He knows that he's got the game in the bag, just needs to be very calm, cool, and collected. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati has got a huge advantage from being almost equal. Here, rook b3, knight c7, knight f4, knight d5. His opponent should have taken here and played this rook endgame, which is kind of drawish, but he goes for a check. And now if knight d5 takes, you have just lost a big tempo and the king is coming in. So he doesn't do that. He now takes on h3. By the way, this check was a crucial error by Duda. Vidit's king comes up and now rook a6 played by Vidit. Maybe there were better moves like king d4, just getting the king in, but you are afraid of the h pawn as well. So Vidit goes rook a6. Now rook b3 check, king d4. This is going to be a very sharp endgame. Right now the engine is saying a draw, but I think it will go up and down many times before we will land in a sort of an assessment which is stable. King d4 on the board. Knight g1. So knight goes to e7 and now the knight is coming to f5. Hari won. Hari Krishna wins his first game. And Nadir Bek lost to Nils Grandelius. This is going to be a day of upsets, guys. This is going to be day of upsets. C7 played by Hari and he has won. Daniel Naroditsky is so upset there. He had a draw in his hand and he's botched it up. Meanwhile, Shakhriyar Mamendyarov has beaten Arjun Erigaisi, which means that Arjun loses a crucial game. But Aditya Mittal fighting hard. If he manages to draw Anish here, that will be an achievement. Because to draw a top player under pressure with less time on the clock, never easy. Never easy. Now let's go to Vidit's game, because this is going to be such an exciting encounter. Now the H pawn is coming in. King g8 played. Which pawn is going to queen first? H pawn or the B pawn? And Vidit has two passers here. So definitely looks like he's the one who will press. But the h2 and knight g1 ideas can block the rook out from here. He goes from the other side. He goes from here. Okay, interesting. Now h2 has to be played. Let's see. Now Duda has 1 minute 14 seconds. What should be his next move here? Should he give up this pawn and start looking here like knight e5, rook? Okay, he can't take this. Anyway, this is defended. But yeah, getting the knight back seems like an important thing. No, he pushes h2. Vidit goes knight e7. And I think Vidit now threatening a mate in one. You know, Duda will go king e8. I know him. He will not accept a draw. He's just such a big fighter. Let's see if I know him well enough. King g8 or king e8. King g8 with it will most likely be okay with a draw. I think it would be logical because black is threatening rook b1 and h1 queen. And Duda is generally very confident. Look, look, I know him well. King e8 on the board. King e8. And now with it, can bring his king in. Use his knight, king, and rook to checkmate. Let's go king d6. Vidit has 27 seconds in hand. What does he do next? Knight d4 says Krishay. He goes king c6. Oh, he's still threatening a mate. Okay, now f6 only move. Otherwise, you are checkmated here. Your knight is controlling and he plays f6. Okay. b6 now. Let's push the pawn. b6. Oh, b6 is lost. Knight h4 blocking this. Oh my goodness. You need to be careful. Very careful here with it. He cannot push these pawns. Knight h4 is game over. What did he do? Check. He checked. Okay. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. Actually, it was not easy to find the only move there. Like, the draw was after king d6. And the point is after knight h4, you have king e6. Queen is mate because this is a mate. So you need to maybe go king d8 and then somehow you have to find rook h7. Crazy variation. Let him queen here. Then you give check. Then he goes here. Then you go check. Then he goes here. Then you go check. Now if he comes here, there is a draw. If he goes there, there is a mate. So he may have to give up his queen and stuff. Crazy chess. Can't play this under time pressure. But Vidit goes for knight g3 and now this is lost after knight h4 because the knight is hanging, the coordination is lost, and yeah, no, this was quite tricky there at the end, and with it losing it very hard. Knight h4 and now it's over. Knight h1, rook b1, and yes, with it has these pawns now, but they are too slow. Like if you go b6, rook h1, b7, rook b1, very important move, b8 queen, and then he takes and makes his own queen, so black wins. There's no time. He goes rook g1, attacking here. And Vidit is most likely going to resign here. Yes, he resigns the game. Let's go quickly to Anish Giri versus Aditya Mittal. Vidit losing it at the last minute. He was better, but Duda, such a big fighter. And look at what Aditya has done. He's got back his pawn. But now he must find king h3 as the only move. He finds it. Because if he had taken here queen e5 check and he would have lost the rook. So king g3, king h3, good move. Rook d4. Oh, he blunders now. And I think queen f6 is the move. Aditya had to centralize his queen, sort of queen e8 or rook c4. But he just misses this and there's a mate here. That's very unfortunate. And also, like, if you give a check, king g7, and then there are no checks. Ah, Anish getting the win there. Queen f8 check, king h7. And now how do you stop this mate? I think you have to go king f2. And then a very nice move. King f2. Guys, what's the winning move here? Very cute move. Abhijit Chauhan, Samvit Kane, Rook D8 just traps the queen, and Aditya there blundering and Anish winning it. Anish is like, wow, that was a lucky break that I got, and a very crucial half point extra that Anish has gained here with this mate. Very, very interesting. And also possible, like if Aditya had gone king g3, then Anish would have had to find rook d8, trapping the queen here. And if he had gone king f2 directly, then maybe queen h4 check, king e2, queen e7, king f2, rook d8. It was not easy. It was not easy. And I think could have been quite complicated for, but it would end in a mate somehow. Okay, with all the games completed, let's have a look at the result. Anish Giri beats Aditya Mittal. Vincent Kaimar loses to Richard Rapport. Looks like a crazy game here. Eric Hansen losing to David Anton Guyaro. Shakriyar Mamedyaro beating Arjun Erigaisi. Jan Shistov Duda beating Vidit Gujarati. Magnus Carlsen losing to Gukesh, the big result of the round. What a huge result for the Indian youngster, beating the world champion. Hari Krishna scoring his first win of this event, beating Daniel Naroditsky, also a big result. And lastly, Nodirbek losing to Nils Grandelius. With this, let's have a look at how this has changed the leaderboard. This is how it is. Mamedyarov now leading the tournament with 19 points. Jan Shistov Duda with 18 points. GM Nodirbek Abdusattarov on 17. Magnus Carlsen on 16 points. Gukesh 15. Arjun 15. The two death matchers on 5th and 6th position. Vidit, Anish on 7th. Vidit on 10th. Aditya Mittal on 11th. And Hari Krishna on 15th. Let's see if I'm hoping that 3 Indians can make it to top 8. I think 2 very likely with Gukesh and Arjun, but let's see if the other 3 can also start moving up. Right now, all 5 of them have chances because still 6 more rounds to go and anything can happen in 6 rounds. The next round will begin shortly, but before that, let me give you a couple of updates on something that we have done. Firstly, if you want to watch these 2 amazing youngsters fight it out against each other, the 2 boys who have beaten Magnus Carlsen, then please don't miss out on the death match that is happening on the 5th. Where is the photo? Let me just make sure. Yeah, there we have it. That is happening on 5th of November. Chess at DreamHack is happening where Gukesh and Arjun will face off. There's also going to be comedians over the board with famous comedians being there. But very importantly, you will also get a chance to play in DreamHack Rapid and Blitz, which is going to be a tremendous event with a prize fund of 10 lakh rupees. And these are the prizes. Rapid first prize is 1,50,000. Blitz first prize is 40,000. We already have many strong players who have registered. We will update the chess results link. They said tomorrow all the entries will be updated with all those who have given, and you will be able to see your name if you have put in the entry. So please do check it out. It's the 3rd link in the description. Why is it the 3rd link in the description? What are the first 2 links for? Well, there's a big announcement that we want to make, that we had launched Vedika's chocolates in July 2021 and it was very, very successful. Vedika's chocolates were loved by a lot of people. We sold over 1,300 packs in the last year and 3 months, and Vedika had built up a very nice team of people who were working from home with very hygienic conditions to build the chocolates. Her parents played a very important role, but at some point now Vedika has decided, and by the way, not to forget the brand ambassador Anish Giri. but Vedika has decided that she has to pursue her education. So this is, we are going to end these chocolates. She is doing physiotherapy and she wants to do her masters, which will not give her enough time to sort of keep an eye on this. And that's why we are going to have this final sale, which is the Diwali sale that's going to happen. And you can check out the first link to buy the chocolates and all the details in the second link. This is the sale where you can buy 2 premium packs and get 25% off, 3 premium packs and get 30% off, 3 or more. Buy 3 regular packs or more, get 20% off. Buy 2 combo packs, which is regular and premium, and get 20% off. So a very huge offer there. You can just go to the link and get yourself, it's a perfect way to gift your loved ones chocolates in this Diwali. So these were a few of the updates that I wanted to give you. And let's go back to the chess. Anish Giri very busy checking out the results. And yes, there's also going to be Chess Base India Chess Club tournament this Saturday with people who attended all 3 Saturdays before. This is going to be our first ever event at the chess club. We, by the way, we did the unboxing yesterday of the 1 million gold play button. It was very nice. I can show you one picture of it. That is there. Biswa had come, so I have a very nice picture of him. Today, Samay came home for a few minutes and was very nice to just meet him and just play a game with him, which is very epic game that is on our channel. You can just check it out. It reminds me of Amruta versus Prag game. This is our gold play button, which is Chess Base India reaching 1 million. And thank you all. I will bring this gold play button one of the days to show you all, but thank you all for doing this, for supporting Chess Base India, for subscribing and for helping us reach 1 million. Shankar says my name is not there. Shankar, tomorrow it will be updated in the chess results for DreamHack at Chess. So don't worry about it. And everything will be set. So please do wait until tomorrow. I was also hoping that it would be done by tonight. Next round, these are the pairings. We have Nils Grandelius versus Anish Giri, Nodirbek Abdu Sataro versus Daniel Naroditsky. Hari Krishna takes on Magnus Carlsen. Whoa! Big game, guys. Let's have Hari on the screen for us there, because Hari Krishna versus Magnus Carlsen is going to be an epic encounter. You can already see there Hari mentally preparing himself, and the last round win is going to help him for sure. Gukesh takes on Duda. That's a big game. Let's see if Gukesh can beat Duda after beating Magnus, because Duda is a very tough opponent. Vidit has another strong opponent facing him, Shakriyar Mamedyarov. We also have Arjun Erigaisi taking on Eric Hansen. A good chance for Arjun to make a comeback after losing to Mamedyarov. David Anton versus Vincent Kaimar, and Richard Rapport versus Aditya Mittal. Okay, Magnus is here. Let's see how this game begins. Magnus Carlsen with the white pieces. What is he going to play? My guess is d4 against Hari. Oh, c4 played on the board, and Hari Krishna will go e5. Oh, he goes c6. Very solid. d4, knight f3. Because you can go into the Slav with d4, d5. Yes, Slav on the board. Hari Krishna's favorite, Slav. And now d takes c4. I think Hari will take, yeah. And then bishop f5. Oh, he plays e4. He doesn't go and chop this pawn. This is all theory. This is all theory, guys. Hari is well prepared. He's making his moves quickly. He knows what is to be done here. He's going to put his bishop here, knight here. One of the things which I have realized, guys, and this is what you should know, is that when these Olympiad camps happened, these have turned into a very important, not just camps but also during the event, when the teams got, each team got 1 or 2 seconds along with the main coach. The amount of preparation that was done is very useful for these players, not just for that event but also later on, subsequently they have all been able to play really well. So I think that's a very good initiative by the All India Chess Federation, where the benefits keep on accruing for these players, not just for that event only. Standings dikha do Sagar bhai. I had already shown the standings, but I'll show it once again very quickly. Just check the right column. And these are the standings. Okay, let's go back to the game. A5 played by Hari. Let's see what Magnus does. It seems like Magnus is somehow already out of his prep. And let's also have Vidit and Mamedyarov on the screen, and Gukesh, and Gukesh is taking on Duda. Let's also have them on the screen because that's going to be very important game. Okay, let's look at first Vidit versus Mamedyarov, because it's an interesting game that started off with the Trompovsky e3, c5, bishop f6, gf6, d takes c5, knight c6, g3 on the board. Okay, Vidit playing with black already has a nice position. He can go e6, bishop takes c5. Let's see how this game continues. Arjun Erigaisi is playing. Is Arjun's camera working? I think it would be, yes. He's fixed it. Eric Hansen. He's playing Eric Hansen. And Arjun in trouble already, it seems, or what? Why is he in trouble? He's played normal chess, right? He's played Sicilian Scandinavian variation, bishop d7. He's played bishop e7. What's wrong? Rook c8, g4, and the engines are like shouting a huge advantage for white, but I sort of don't understand why. This is a very typical Sicilian position. Maybe it has to do something with very deep understanding that black has to maybe do something very concretely like knight d4 but not play rook c8 move. Okay, g4. Now let's also look at Gukesh's game against Jan Sistov Duda, because Duda is one of those players who is so difficult to beat. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, g3. We have the Catalan, bishop b4, bishop d2, bishop comes back, castles, castles, c6, queen c2, knight d7, rook to d1, a5, bishop f4, a4, a3 played, h6, knight to c3, and this is the position on the board. So Gukesh has played his a pawn. Generally in such positions you are playing moves like b6 and putting bishop here, but Gukesh wanted to push his pawn and push a4. Knight to c3, queen a5, defending this pawn. But I don't really think Gukesh has played the opening so well, because imagine a move like e4, and if you take here, this is already a positionally very bad situation for black. Can anyone tell me what is the reason why black is worse in such a position? What's the reason that black is not doing well? Yes, Shazmanu, Ajay Panigrahi, very good. Nishant Mundra, no, Nishant, not the pawn structure. Abhishek Yadav, yes, bad bishop. This bishop cannot really come out. And now, if b6, you are going to weaken the long diagonal because the d5 pawn is gone. So, somewhere if Duda plays e4, good or bad, Gukesh will have to take on c4 and play like a gambit. You know, he will be like, okay, fine, I'm pawn down. Like if queen e2, I think he may even want to save this pawn with e5, with b5. And then we will get a crazy game. Something like Duda will go g4, you know, if you take here e5, trapping this knight, something like this will happen. I'm telling you, these both the players are going to go crazy on the board and we are going to have a fun time. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati has gone and taken the pawn on d4, but that has turned into not a great position because after e5, actually e6 was the best move. That's what I felt. e5, bishop g2, bishop e6, knight c3, and now d4, ed. He had to take with the knight, giving up the b7 pawn here because after rook b8, it's already completely fine. You know, you c6 move, queen b6, black is doing very well, but he went queen d4, and I think what he has missed, and whether Mamedyarov will see it or not is a big question, but the point is to take, and now not queen d4 but queen f3 looking here, and already this is positionally difficult situation for black because this is hanging and so is this. Let's go to Hari Krishna's game. So after ab3 e6, bishop d3 a5, castles, he went knight a6. Now he's looking to come to b4. So he chops the pawn. Hari Krishna plays bishop d7. Hari Krishna very well prepared. Knight to b4, queen e2, b5 pawn is hanging, so Hari takes here, develops his bishop, knight to c3, and castles. And he's telling Magnus, be my guest if you want to take here. But why does this move not work, guys? Why can't you take this? Magnus went, by the way, bishop g5. He did not take this pawn, but why? Shak played it against Vidit. He took on c6, played queen f3, and I think this is already tough situation for Vidit. You know, very, this is the thing with players like Mamedyarov. They play such tricky openings. It starts becoming difficult to, you know, sort of play your normal lines against them. Yeah, coming back to the game of Hari Krishna here. Against Magnus. Yes, the move that I was looking for here after knight b5 is either bishop b5, which you have said, or knight e4. These were the two moves that I was looking at because then you take and I take here. And that's why Magnus went bishop to g5 and Hari is thinking. But Hari already has a good position here after b4. And this would mean that Magnus has to go knight a4. There are many ways to continue, maybe even h6. Okay, meanwhile, Arjun versus Eric Hansen. Eric is going all out against Arjun's king. h4, b5, h5, knight d4 has been played. He wants to go g5 and g6. So Arjun now has to sort of go into an emergency mode and start. What? Did he just play h6? Oh, he says it's just a mouse slip. Look at Eric there. He's just made a mouse slip and Arjun is like, what is this? What is this? It's a huge blunder. I don't know if Arjun, I don't think Arjun is going to, I mean, he is a very fair play sort of a player, Arjun. But in such moments, you don't even know whether you should do anything because your opponent might have genuinely made that move. So yeah, knight takes f3. So you can't even do like, oh, do you want to sort of, because you made a mouse slip, do you want it back? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And Arjun is just winning now. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I think what generally happens is when you have made your last move, like h5 here, and when your opponent plays, maybe you have touched this pawn once, and then you are just, I don't know what, you might have just touched it again, and it makes a move like this instead of taking. But now it's over. 95. Okay. In worst case, I mean, if you want to somehow checkmate, but it's not going to happen. This is all done. Just a second, guys. Someone at the door. Okay, that was Amruta. Just gone out and she's back. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna, after bishop g5, went h6. Why did Hari Krishna not go b4 is a very big question. He took, and Magnus said, at least I'll win a pawn. Knight a3, rook d8, and Hari has actually given up a pawn. I mean, there was no need for it actually. He could have gone b4. Now he has compensation for sure. He has compensation with all his pieces looking here and so on. But he could have been better. He could have been better there. Guys, this has happened. Queen a5, e4, d takes c4, queen e2. Oh, he went knight b6, not b5. Rook c1. You know, वो रहता है ना किसी के नसीब में, someone's fortune is so good that he can choose between castling short and castling long, while someone's naseeb or luck is so bad that he can never castle short or long, you know. That's the story of these two kings, and that's why the bar is so much in white's favor. H7 pawn is hanging. Meanwhile, Anish Giri slightly better against Nils Grandelius. Nodirbek slightly sort of equalish against Naroditsky. Hari Krishna here plays a4. No, such are the positions you really must play carefully with Magnus. Pawn up, he will press you. You will have to play carefully. Vidit plays bishop d5. He goes rook a4 and now queen a4. Well, Gukesh is coming under a lot of pressure because Duda is going to do this g4 g5 business, and Gukesh just doesn't have space. But what Gukesh is doing is he is getting ready for the winter. He knows that winter is coming. So let's say g4, he will play knight f d7. So that's what he's trying. He's played his bishop here so that it's out of the way from the rooks. Their rooks are connected. Bishop is also defending this key pawn. Also looking at this g6 square later. Meanwhile, Arjun, who had just won a piece because of a terrible mouse slip by his opponent, is still better. Rook h8, I mean, clearly for choice. But he must play carefully because Erik Hansen will now play as if he has nothing to lose. And it can get a little tricky. Gukesh can even look at some sacrifice like rook takes c3, which is not very silly. But he goes king g8. Once I was playing against Sohan Fadke, who is my good friend. By the way, queen h7, king f8 played, and I was a complete piece up in that game. He blundered like in move 15 or 16. And after that, I was under so much pressure because I didn't expect him to blunder. And I actually lost that game. So sometimes it so happens that when you win a piece, you start to get a little bit paranoid about attacks and all. And you start making very passive moves. I don't think that's going to happen with Arjun. But I think you might have seen that in your games. I like how Duda realized that going aggressive here will not really help because Gukesh has knight d7. So he went sort of positional and took this pawn. Arjun. Sorry if I made a mistake of some name. Let's look at Magnus versus Hari, because this position, if Hari manages to hold this, it would be great. I have a question for everyone in the chat. Are the knights better in such positions or the bishops? Can you tell me? What is better in such positions? Knights or bishops? Absolutely right. All those who have mentioned the knights are much better are very correct, because the pawns are all on one side of the board. If you see here, the pawns are all on one side of the board, and this is a very important element when you are playing with knights and bishops. Now Hari Krishna has a chance to sort of reduce white's advantage, and he can do so by taking here and now finding a very important move. Guys, can you find it? Come on, let's see how many in the chat. Very alert. Yes, very important move here, f6. Putting the knight away. Let me see how many people got it right. Very good job done by Nishant. Chess is more than fun. Savita, Shrey, Naman, Alston, Madhu, Abhinav, Shazmanu, and Shreyas Gokhale. Well done. f6. The knight has to go back. And now, again, an important move. Oh, Hari did play it, but now he goes bishop h5, which might not be the most accurate way to play. Much better was if he had played his pawn up to e5, which is easy to miss a move like that because you think d5 will give a passer, but suddenly you see the queen can take here. That is the problem. So Aditi Singh says, what's wrong with rook d4? No, Aditi, you can't take, right? Because queen and rook both are there. So bishop h5. The idea is now to attack the knight, and Magnus once again finds a good move, queen f3, a queen d3. If you take here on f3, now very important is to take with the pawn, because if you take with the queen, then rook d4 and it's a draw. So you take with the pawn and you are playing 5 versus 4. Now generally such positions I would be very confident of Hari Krishna defending them, but because he's playing against Magnus Carlsen and what we saw yesterday with Magnus playing so well, it can get very tricky. Okay, let's quickly check the games. Gukesh, after queen c4, knight d7, d5, e5, bishop e3. White is slightly better. Arjun, totally in control. Okay, this is hanging. How would I defend it? Let me be careful. Bishop e8 looks like one way to do it. Very solid. Queen e8 also looks like another way to do it. Also very solid. So all good. He's also managed to open up the king a bit. So clearly winning there. What about Aditya Mittal? Aditya Mittal under some pressure against Richard Rapport. But Aditya is a big fighter, you know, he's constantly fighting in this event. He's not giving up against any opponents. He's trying to he beat Vincent Kaimar, he beat some another strong player. So he's actually doing very well in this event. And even with Anish, he was almost about to draw. Meanwhile, Vidit Gujarati, very difficult position because he's already 2 pawns down, and then this is attacked. Yeah, queen c4, trying to stop even white from castling. Knight h4 will be played. Knight c5 played here by Gukesh. A huge blunder. by Gukesh, and there you can see him shaking his head. He has just missed this, a massive mistake, and Duda knows he's got the point in the bag, drinks his tea there, and he knows this is done and dusted, guys. Gukesh was having a fine, okay, I mean, I can't say a good position, but a fine position. He can play on, he can go bishop f8, he can go knight f6, but he plays knight c5 and just simply misses that Duda here can push his pawn. Now this is a very important move because two things. One, you can, if you go back, you are losing the knight. So you must take with the, if you take with the bishop, what's the move here, guys? Very quickly in the chat. White to play. Yes, the move here, and rightly pointed out by all of you, World of Wit, Deven Tiwari, Shaibi, Ishan, Madhu Mohan, Pushkar, Chandan Nagar, Akshaj, Alvin, and Abhinav is rook takes d6. And after rook d6, just queen c5, and you lose two pieces for a rook. Very important in such closed positions because two pieces are way stronger. And if you decide to take with the rook, which might be a good move here, it doesn't work because I think what Gukesh could have missed is that after bishop c5, rook d1, he thought he will recover his piece, but he is not because of knight d1 and the rook defends here. And yes, you can give a check, but after bishop f1 or even queen f1, it is game over. So Gukesh clearly lost here, a big blunder by him, which has resulted in him losing his this position. And what about Magnus versus Hari? After queen d3, e5, d5 was played, and now Hari finds a very nice move, f5. And his point is, if you take, I can go e4 with pressure here. Very nice. So rook e1 played, and queen a5 by Hari Krishna. Threatening here and threatening there. Meanwhile, Vidit. Oh, Vidit Gujarati is back in the game. Wow, that is huge, but his body language doesn't feel like he's back. What has just happened is that after knight d2, actually here, I was expecting that Shak would go knight h4, which looked better square. He went knight d2, with it chopped on c2, castles, took another pawn, queen e3, rook d8, good move by Vidit, queen here, and now Vidit is back in the game, and you can notice he has 2.5 extra minutes on the clock. So that is a big comeback. Now if you play bishop g7, it's losing or it's bad because of queen g5. Attacking here seems like so Vidit goes rook g7, and maybe they will agree to a draw here because His knight doesn't have a good square to go to. And his knight cannot move because this is hanging. So here Mamedyarov cannot get too over ambitious, and this might be a very important 1 point that Vidit might get. A draw here. Arjun getting his bishop out to b5, putting pressure here, and Gukesh just complete piece down. I think he can resign with a clear conscience there. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna really playing well against Magnus, and after take, he can't take with the queen, he'll lose the rook, so has to take with the pawn, and then we can take on e4, very important move, fe4, and now rook f8 with the idea of rook coming in here and latching on to this weakness on h4. So let's see. Okay guys, we are back. Sorry, I had to change the internet connection. The internet is somehow a bit unstable, but I think I'm back. Please refresh. Please refresh. I think we are all good. Good, all good, all good. All good. Okay. Oh, and Shark, by the way, after repeating twice or thrice, went queen h4. And with it, could have gone rook d6, fighting for an advantage. But he went rook d4, and now Mamedyarov is confused whether to draw the game or not. And Vidit now can actually try to continue with king e8. No, he does not. Very a very psychological game going on here. Mamedyarov, just like Duda, does not like to draw his games. He likes to keep fighting, but Vidit here is staying very steady here. Is Mamedyarov going to play for a win with just 1 minute on the clock here against Vidit's 4 minutes 29 seconds? That would be a bit too much in my opinion. But you know, these top guys, they are very, very ambitious. He could give a check and then go back to h5. But from his face look, it doesn't seem like Mamedyarov wants to continue. He might just give a check and he might just draw the game. What do you think, guys? What do you think? A check. Oh, by the way, Duda has won his game against Gukesh. My mic is okay, guys. If you can just refresh. I think they have not yet drawn. Oh, he fights on. He fights on. He fights on. Shark OP, guys. That is really some bit of fighting chess, fighting spirit shown there by Mamedyarov. Huge fighting spirit. All those who can't hear me well, guys, please refresh your stream. It should be fine. Should be fine. Ah. Okay, Arjun totally winning, guys. No problem for Arjun Erigaisi. Gukesh has already lost his game. Aditya Mittal, on the other hand, has fought back like crazy, and he is holding his game against Richard Rapport, which is phenomenal because he was worse. And Hari Krishna should also be able to hold this against Magnus. But some pressure still, like pawn down, but it so went like after knight e5, rook d5, queen e1. Oh, he played it this way. Nice. Hari gave up his queen. Bishop takes f4, king f8, g4, g5 played. Very nice move. Because if you take, and take, then after king e6, this is attacked and then g4 will fall. So that's the reason why he played king e1, bishop b3. Oh, and he's... Guys, now I think it should be okay. I have changed the internet once again. I have one internet connection, which is my LAN connection, which is pretty terrible. We have to make a complaint sometime, I think. Okay, king f2. By the way, Vidit's king looks a bit scary here right now. King h7. Guys, please refresh. Please refresh. Again, Mamedyarov here wants to repeat, but this time will he repeat? He has 10 seconds left. It doesn't seem like... Oh, check. Somehow Mamedyarov wants to win. But you know, if you look at the standings, Mamedyarov is on number 2 spot. So actually it's not so important for him to win. A draw should be okay. Can you... Yeah, he goes here. No, he must go back. And joining me all the way from her relative's place. Hello, Amruta.
Hello, everyone.
How are you
Gukesh
feeling?
beat Magnus.
Yes.
Amazing.
How did you know, Amruta?
Just check that thing out, yeah?
Where did you check?
Where else will I check?
I mean, on social media or on stream?
I just...
Huh?
No, I went out and I thought I should check what's happening with Sagar. So I just tuned into ChessBiz India and there it was. Gukesh was winning. So
Wow.
I was lucky that I didn't miss the moment.
Okay, it was a draw between Mamedyarov and Vidit. Vidit fought really hard. Look at him, he's so tired there. After
why is Vidit so tired? I mean,
I don't know. His game was...
was he winning or
no, he
something?
was lost. He was lost.
Achha.
So this should be a good result for him.
But he looks more than tired. He also looks upset.
No, I don't think he was winning at any point in the game. Guys, he was Vidit winning at any point. In fact, he was just lost.
Achha.
Meanwhile, you know, Amruta, what happened in the game of Arjun Erigaisi and Eric Hansen? Arjun, so it was this position. Very interesting position here. Okay. Eric got a nice opening. Eric is white. h5. Arjun takes. And now Eric, instead of taking back on d4...
What? Really? G6? Okay.
He just blundered.
Achha, G6.
I mean, it was a mouse slip, I believe.
Pre-move. Maybe it was a pre-move then. Mukund says, Amrita, welcome to Sagar Samay home. Guys, if you have checked the video in the morning, in the evening, which they played in the morning, then please give your result. We need appeals committee.
Oh, all games are over in except for David Anton versus Vincent Kaimar, where David Anton today really playing well, and Aditya Mittal might lose this against Richard. While Amruta, this is a short draw. I don't
Oh,
think.
Magnus versus Hari right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think Hari will lose this. What do you
No,
think?
not with the bishop. नहीं कोई डाउट मत रखना. For sure no. No. So Magnus is having a tough time with the young
3 out of 5 against
the
Indians
young
for
guys.
him.
Yes.
Well, Hari is not young.
No, I was talking about the young
Yeah,
guys.
the young.
Okay.
What?
Who?
Who? Rook d6 was better for Vidit. Yeah, that is true. But that was very small edge. Hari's age is not 35. I think he's 36. He's 86 born. एनोनिमस से मैग्नस कुछ ना कुछ करते रहता है, वो तो है. कुछ ना कुछ वो एक ऐसा उसके माइंड में एक प्लान रहेगा कहीं पे तो कि यहाँ पे कुछ कर सकते हैं, एंड देन ही विल keep moving for many moves and then he will play that. But here it doesn't seem like there's any plan. Let's also check Aditya Mittal. I don't think Aditya will be able to hold this because the rook is not as strong as the two minor pieces. And by the way, there is another good news. There is an event called Calvia Amateur Open, and Arvinder Preet Singh has won that event, which is quite a big result for him, below 2350 section. So some of the other positive news coming in for गुरकीरत सिंह आनंद से सुन के लगा मेरी बात कर रहे थे. नहीं, there is a very good player named Arvinder Preet Singh.
Aditya says Richard, but I think there could be
No.
some chances to hold ना कुछ तो blunder करके.
Very
less
little.
chances.
Yeah, very little.
Okay, got it.
Look at Magnus here, Amruta.
He's still trying to press.
He's
Yeah,
still
he
trying.
doesn't give up.
He'll keep on playing and on and on and on.
Today there is better light in his house though.
Today he looks more tired, but Drew.
Done. Well done, Hari.
Hari Krishna drew his game against Magnus Carlsen, so that means all Indians have now played against Magnus. Arjun and Gukesh have beaten him. Vidit has lost. Aditya Mittal has drawn and Hari has drawn. So 3 out of 5 for Indians.
सारे इंडियंस का खत्म हो गया मैच मैग्नस के साथ.
हाँ.
थोड़ी दुख भरी कहानी हो गई.
नहीं, but they could play against them in preliminary, like knockouts.
Anyway, so in case you want to take 5-10 minutes rest, let me know before the next round begins.
Yeah, I can,
And
but
then you can, and then I might say goodbye to everybody. Hello guys, how was the day today until now? I mean, in terms of chess, the key moments for people would be.
today I think Amruta Gukesh winning has been a very key moment, and also Arjun winning now. I think still only 2 rounds have been completed, so that was the main moment.
Arjun का इसके साथ हाँ that blunder, yeah, which you showed
Yeah.
me. Sachin Ranade says started reading Anand File's book, loving it. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Fantastic book, actually gives you insights into the life of how a world champion works for the world championship title, how his team works. By the way, Amruta, if he goes here and takes this pawn, Rapport will have to mate with a
Yeah.
bishop and knight.
मजा आएगा. And it will happen.
I think Aditya will not
There's no
resign.
other
He will
choice.
play.
Yeah. We have a long game ahead, guys.
We have this very nice game on our channel between Gukesh and Raunak Sadhwani, where Gukesh sort of bangs on the table, smashes the table is the title. And in that, Gukesh was better, I think, and then he gets a losing position because he blunders. Then he has 3 pawns against against Raunak's rook and knight. Knight and bishop. And then he just resigns the game. But even if Raunak wins all the 3 pawns, he has to show bishop and knight mate. But he was so sad that he just resigned. But I don't think Aditya will do that.
Yeah. No. This will definitely last. What is the minimum number of moves in which you can mate with bishop and knight? Yes, Sagar?
Sorry?
Bishop knight से minimum number of moves.
I think 30 moves you need to do it. 31.
Okay.
By the way, Pancham Singh says, Sagar ji, the book I ordered for my son Spandan was received well. Standout point packaging was great. Arey, nice. Thank you. We will mention it to our team who does the good job at the back end and tries to fulfill as all the orders as well as they can. By the way, Amruta, today is the final sort of production we have announced for Vedika's chocolates.
Okay.
So the pinned message in the chat is of Vedika's chocolates because we had started it off a year and 3 months ago, but now we have Vedika has to study and she's doing her master's in physiotherapy. So we are not going to continue, but this is the final sale that we have kept for this Diwali. So you can check it out, the first and second link in the description. Also the pinned link if you want to get yourself
What I suggest you, Sagar, is next 3 days, make sure that you eat and exercise quite a lot, so that on the last day of sale, I'll order those chocolates for you.
I've already told Vedika to send me.
No, that not without losing some kgs. They're not going to reach.
I told Vedika.
I'll make sure that
what
you don't get the courier in your hand. I'll hide it. I'll do anything, but you will not get it in your hand. You saw today Samay. Are you not inspired? He lost so many
Samay
kgs.
is now 92 kgs, guys.
Yeah, I was shocked to see him today. One moment I thought that Samay मेरे जितना पतला होने वाला है. Then I realized no, that's impossible.
तुम्हारे जितना कोई नहीं हो सकता अमृता.
Yes, that is true.
Lord Wiz says, why is this the last? Because Lord Wiz, then she has to study and she won't be able to focus on this. So that's why we've decided to keep it the last sale. And maybe in some point in future, when she's has more time on hand, we can then restart it. गुरकीरत बोल रहा है अमृता मैम सीक्रेटली पेइंग वेदिका टू नॉट सेंड द पार्सल.
गुरकीरत मुझे भी तो खाने हैं ना चॉकलेट्स.
Oh, Chandan Nagar says Sagar sir Utsav Chatterjee became an IM. Yes, he became an IM of some time ago. We have several of his interviews on our channel. Ashish Anand says Amruta should also get motivated by Samay, but other way around.
खाते रहो.
Standings दिखा दो. Let's have a look at the standings till this game, because this game might go on for a bit more. So Duda now leading the tournament, Amruta, and Arjun on number 4 spot, Gukesh on number 7.
In fact, so much of the standing has changed. Okay, but let me not forget, I was not there yesterday.
Vidit on number 10, Aditya on 13, and Hari Krishna today has had a good day. 1 win and 1 draw. Do you think that 3 Indians can finish in top 8?
2 Indians.
Let's see.
3 is not easy. Okay, Sagar, what are the chances for a 2735 rated player or a 2700 rated player who will not be able to checkmate with a bishop and knight? The chances out of 100%? Zero, yeah?
Also with 10-second increment, it's sort of easy. But right now, Aditya is being tricky in the sense he's not sacking his rook. He's keeping it. And he's stopping black from making any advances, that way.
So it's a long game for sure, guys. You can't take care the king pawn endgame is lost because your king is already on the key square.
Kashi Vinod says, can you give us information on where to register for Blitz and Rapid tournament at DreamHack? It's the third link in the description. You can check it out. Third link in the description. And I think a lot of people have already signed up. So please do so.
Chris asks Amrita, who was on the door? 2 दिन से साबुन खत्म हो रहा है तो इसके लिए थोड़ा अर्जेंट था.
अर्जेंट है
अर्जुन तुम कब से, हाँ मैंने वही सोचा तुम कब से इतना फालतू जोक मारने लगे. Then I remembered today morning we had a guest.
Okay, let's.
King इधर पहुंच गया है. Even if this rook is able to take this, it's a draw. C2. By the end of this game, I'm sure that lot more games will start.
Yeah. Already they are close to starting.
Acha, 3 minutes to go. Okay.
Aryan Phillips says, how many days does the chocolate take to ship within India? So all those who order it before 19th will get it before Diwali begins. That's what Vedika has made so that you guys will get. But once you order after 19th, then it may take a week or so, like some more time, but you will get it sort of towards the end of October or maybe first couple of days of November. Shashak Ram says, who do you want to fight with in chess boxing?
That's not where we have a different weight category and you will never be able to fight with me. I think I will be the only person in my weight category, so I'll be the champion anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, good fight by Aditya. Yeah, not giving up. That's the main
Absolutely.
thing. He's fighting on and on.
Also, Aditya for his first tournament in CCT, the
Yeah,
opposition he's having, the way he's playing, tremendous. This will change. This will be quite
isn't that
career
your
changing
picture
for
of
him.
Anand behind him? It's he's sort of blurred
I
his
can't
screen, but
see it.
behind Aditya, look slightly you can see.
Oh, actually it is.
Yeah,
But where is it?
in his home.
Oh, interesting. Wow, you could observe that.
Not YouTuber says I hope Vedika will start again after her studies. Yes, I also hope, and I'm very keen that she does. Okay, now take the pawn. Yeah?
No, you can wait because then it is like one, two, oops, one, two, another 5 moves delay. G3 stopped.
Anmol says, have come for a while, Sagarbai, after getting done with my studies for the day. What's up? Anmol, today Gukesh beat Magnus Carlsen. That's the biggest thing that has happened. I think now
Nah.
threat is G3. Because Rook G3 there is knight E4.
Hmm. G3. King F3, G2, King F2, Knight G4, King moves, G1 Queen. How many of you can checkmate with the bishop and knight? Be honest. Let's do a poll. क्या
Okay.
बोलता है तू?
Let's do.
Do you trust your chat, Sagar? Do
Yes.
you want to trust? Okay, do you trust is another question. But do you want to trust your chat?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Not not sure is also one possibility. Yes, no and not sure. इस रुक जाओ पोल डाल रहे हैं. ये काफी डीप क्वेश्चन है. बिशप एंड नाइट चेकमेट.
Shubhada Vishwal says I know how to, but I'm not sure if I would actually be able to. It's a very interesting thing that has been mentioned here now, G1. So we will get into Bishop Knight, which is that knowledge and skills. These are two things that are often very important when you are trying to do something. A lot of people gain knowledge. Like you see so many books that are there with me, with many people. You get knowledge, but skills is being able to apply that knowledge, and that comes with playing practice, with being playing it with an engine, playing it with a friend, and so on. And say for example you play very slowly and you are told by your trainer play fast, under don't come under time pressure because it's not good for you. So knowing this is already knowledge, but actually being able to do it is skill, and that requires a different set of work that needs to be put in.
I completely agree with you.
He'll play bishop f3 here
Nice design.
because bishop f3 say you are cutting the king off from here.
They all four look like a family on an island, right? On a remote island.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something very important, but somehow they. This is a very weird,
On ChessBase India,
weird
you can
position.
find many videos on this. Also, you can find an entire playlist dedicated to Bishop Knight Mate. So it's not just I have done videos, I have done
Yeah.
many things.
What is the poll saying, Sagar?
Sorry,
Poll.
poll. Let's look at the poll.
Not YouTuber says I can't
20,
have lost on time.
20% says yes.
Oh,
59% say no. 22% not sure. These not sure people are actually know.
They kind of know, like, but they have not tried it enough. But this is so amazing that we have got an honest opinion here.
Yeah, honest audience.
Because if it was more than 50% yes, then there would be thoda suspicion aa jata tha. This is amazing, guys. So proud of you.
For what? Proud of you for?
For being honest.
Hmm.
Because for people to say no, they have to be honest, right?
Right.
Hmm. Maybe a good time. Maybe then it is very good that this is happening right now.
Okay, by
You
the
have
way,
to
Amrita,
explain it because
let's
they
look
don't
at
know
it.
how to
Let's look at it carefully now.
Another games have started, but yes,
So
in between.
what is happening is that the king is going to the corner
Hmm.
where the bishop is cannot control it. So you cannot checkmate the king in a dark square corner. You have to either push it here or you have to push it here. So that's why Aditya went here, and you can see that Richard is slightly getting a bit worked up.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
he's trying to recollect, remember how many moves.
so I'll tell you
See,
how to
the
remember
pawn
it.
is gone also.
Your knight needs to be in W, which is this one here. This is the W where your knight has to be.
Oh, nice.
And this is where your bishop has to go to stop. So now he goes here, bishop. So he will actually push him this way. Now he needs to put his knight here on this square. So let's say this move is good.
Hmm.
So he will go to here. Then you smoke the king out here. Make a waiting move. King goes here. Put the bishop here. Bring the king here. Then आगे से.
You are going to let
But
us know.
this is the W where he needs to get the knight. Now first come here, very important. Now he's got it. Now Richard will do it. Bishop here.
So these four people, like family, is
Now
quite
here.
common.
No, now here. Okay, you can do this. Check. Here. He should have. He could have. By the way, you can also try here to not go back here, but to go here. This is also a way to play, and then try to escape. But here, this is. Oh, by the way, Aditya has resigned. But this is how.
Why?
Because he got checkmated. Here. Richard Rapport knew this style, so he played this, and it's a W now happening. So very interesting game. Well fought by Aditya, but Richard winning it in the end.
So didn't take too much time. Rakshit says B stats does the knight bishop mate under a minute. That's nice then.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think important lesson is W at least has one rule to remember. ठीक है. All right. Have fun, Sagar.
Going?
And guys.
अमृता तुम क्यों छोड़ के जा रही हो सबको?
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ.
जा रहे हो.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਜਾਓ.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ना जाओ.
नहीं, मस्त एनर्जी लाओ सागर.
Amrita,
it was amazing energy.
It's the
and you have
world
to get-
classical champion
Nodirbek.
versus world rapid champion.
Wow, a time for Magnus to
But look at
get
Magnus,
the revenge,
no?
and he's so unhappy. For what reason? Is it the opening?
I think he is just a little bit tired from something.
It looks like a hangover.
We don't
Is
know.
it conjunctivitis?
He's not in Mumbai.
Yeah, that's true.
Guys, there's some kind of a
Maybe his health
conjunctivitis.
is not good, but something is possible that way also.
Magnus playing his favorite opening right now, that is the modern. You know, I have a friend who hasn't played chess for quite some time, and yesterday suddenly he started following chess like after many years.
Okay.
Because Arjun beat Magnus, and she asked why is Magnus playing such way, because with Arjun also he played this way.
Huh.
So he was very surprised that this is how chess is played now at top level. I said, no, it's not like every game happens this way.
Now I get your point. Got it.
Bishop b7 attacks this pawn, and Nodirbek has been thinking for quite some time. Magnus can take this. Nodirbek can take this pawn. Magnus will take this pawn.
Yeah, people are saying that Magnus is not well. He said it in an interview.
He's not well, acha.
He's not well. It's really very hard to play chess when you're not well and your brain is heavy. If you have cold and if you have something else, then to calculate with the same intensity, it's. I think these are the toughest moments in a chess player's life. To play the critical games when you're unhealthy. I mean, in anybody's profession, in fact, chess players.
Correct. That's true.
One of the toughest moment for me, which I remember, was a tournament happening where Magnus was playing, and I had a tremendous dry cough. And then you don't want to cough on the stage when everybody's there because it's
You were
going to be
playing in the
disturbing.
same tournament as Magnus. Which tournament?
Do you think it is ever possible?
That's why I'm very surprised.
But I never said I was playing. Did I say that? Galti se.
And you said something. Okay, Magnus was just there.
Yeah, I mean, I was just there. Magnus wasn't playing. I was there as a photographer. Hey, what else will I do on stage? I was taking pictures and videos.
Okay, so
क्या हुआ?
Knight h3 played by Nodirbeck.
So bishop d5 if you go,
Amrita,
then you are taking the
can you do a roundup quickly of the games going on? So just Vincent Arjun.
So Arjun versus Vincent. Arjun is white. His long castle looks like a very nice position for white. He's going to get
Pawn down.
d4.
He's pawn down.
He's pawn down. Okay, it doesn't really matter here whether your material down, because just look at your development and the space which you have, the king in the center. So I really like white's position, that is Arjun's position, and I can look at this idea which seems very tempting for me. This is the roundup for white. Here also the queen is going to move, this bishop is going to develop here. So this looks slightly finicky. Let's move to the next game. Arjun slightly better here against Vincent. Vidit versus Eric Hansen. Okay, now if you look at this position with rookless position, it's not ruthless, rookless. So, firstly, love the pawn on h5. Love these knights which Vidit has, very active. All of them look coordinated. Whereas for black, space is again a problem. Pieces are not very good. d4 is a weakness, so the knight is going to come to e6, putting pressure on this point. By the time, I think for white, he has some very powerful ideas here. One of the knight gets to f5, some sacrificing ideas here, h6. So black has to look out. With it, is slightly better. Moving to the next game, Gukesh versus Mamedaro. Oh, what a match! Gukesh versus Mamedaro. Both of them very creative and exciting players. So again, the rook, we have the isolated pawn right now, Sagar. Again, white has more space. This bishop here putting keeping an eye on this structure, though we know that b7 and c6 is like a granite. Are you really going?
Go on, please.
Okay. Okay, that's a task.
Slight advantage for Gukesh.
Slight advantage for Gukesh. One of the reason is development. The other reason is the double bishop. Beautifully placed double bishop. And again, here as well, I would look out at these ideas because you have double bishop you want to weaken. Let's go to the next game, Hari versus Duda. Okay. This is the imbalance. On the first look, bishop versus knight.
Big oranges. Oranges who wanted
Oranges
to be lemon but couldn't become.
Exactly. So here, I think Hari has a bishop. I think this is the main imbalance.
Someone has to beat Duda. Duda
Beautiful open file. This game, I feel that Hari, this position is to Hari's liking.
Let's have Hari on the screen. And also Duda will have.
Oh, he's got the control of the e file. The problem is with the knight on d6, Duda can exchange both the rooks.
But
That's the main
You
problem.
know what Hari will do in such positions?
Yeah.
A4, A5, A6. It's
Like in
typical Hari.
earlier games, we were all looking at H4, H5, H6. Here it is A4, A5, A6. Okay, got it. Nice plan, Sagar. That is a nice plan. It's better, but I can't really say how much better because practically looks easily defendable for black unless white plays that every move which is like classical chess, and in rapid it's too much to expect. So let's move to Norderbeck versus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen. H4 has happened on the board. The dark square is look really weak. I think Magnus is going to get in tough situation.
H5.
Once again, Norderbeck is, if I can predict the result, I believe he is going to beat him.
Really?
Yes.
He played H5. Wow.
So H5 has happened on the board.
Let's go to.
What will you do? Let's go to the which last game?
No. Let's go to Arjun here. Arjun versus Vincent.
Okay. Arjun versus Vincent.
Guys,
Knight D7
Amruta, can we just look at the opening, because it was very interesting, and this is, I think, what Adiban also has recommended in his course. This.
Correct. Adiban.
No, not B3, but this line. Bishop B2.
Okay. Bishop G4. Oh, F3. Very, very weird. I mean, of course, it has to be theory. But very weird. E4. Pawn takes knight C3. In fact, you've not taken here. Then why did you play E4? Maybe to open this guy.
Just the gambit line.
Yeah. Knight F6. Fe4. Knight E4. Knight E4. Bishop E4. Queen E2 with developing with a tempo right now. Bishop C6.
If bishop C2, D3 traps the bishop.
Nice. So bishop C6 was played and long castle. E6, here we saw knight F3 was played. Queen D5. Very interesting move. You don't have knight C3 tempo anymore. That's why it's a good move. He goes knight E5. I mean, definitely doesn't want to take on C6, but let's see. Knight D7 was played. C4. And Vincent is thinking, where is the place for this queen?
Queen E4.
Queen A5 looks the most
natural. Queen E4. Don't go to the side. It's very dangerous.
I mean, if you go Queen A5, the problem is you can take here. Yeah, and then just go King B1. So this is a bad pawn structure. So Queen E4 is actually forced because you need to keep the C6 defended. In fact, for knight C6, if you play queen takes E2, then again this pawn structure is very good for you. Hence, you cannot take the queen. You will have to take the knight with the queen.
D4. I like white's position.
And then D4. But what if long castle? Do you really have that much?
D5 maybe.
So it's a very unclear game. This one.
Yeah.
Very, very unclear. Very interesting. We have to keep a watch on this.
Meanwhile, Gukesh is better against Shark. So what happened, Amruta? We were looking till here. It looked like sort of equal, but he made a mistake with knight D7 here. He should have gone knight A6. But guys, why is knight D7 a mistake? Can anyone tell what is a good move for white in this position? White to play. By the way, we have one of Aditya's first trainers who has just messaged me right now, and his name is Prasad Ghate, and he has mentioned that when Aditya was young, he had taught him how to checkmate with a bishop and knight. So that's very cool, very nice. One of the most important thing is when you are young and when you train, the impact of your first trainer is huge. And I believe that champions are made in this period already, when the first trainer the way he trains, the way he imbibes the love, the way in which he, makes the
Very
game
true.
exciting and so on.
Very true.
By the way,
Everyone said bishop.
but very few people got this move, which is a sack. Naman Jain, rook takes e6 is the move here, which Gukesh went for. Very nice move, because now after bishop d6, the queen is almost trapped.
Queen c8.
Had to go to c8.
But the same thing is happening even with rook e1, na? That's why they guessed it. Queen c8 was there. Like, what is the difference?
Not rook e1.
They
You
are
can
saying
start
bishop
with
takes c4 आ रहा है क्या?
dd6.
Bishop
But yeah,
takes c4
exactly.
आ रहा है. So that is a blunder. Bishop d6 is a blunder.
Yeah.
But proud of you guys for honesty.
Yeah. No, it's obviously, I mean, honesty is much more important than being right. And now the point is, if you save your rook, there's a fork. And that's the reason why knight f8 was played. And then bishop d8, queen d8, rook e1, queen d7, knight e5, queen d6, queen c4, rook d8, knight f3, a5, queen c2, queen b4. And we have this position with a very big weakness on e6. I like Gukesh's chances here.
And he's gone h4. Guys, whenever you will be able to play two ideas, one is h4, h5, and the other is a4, a5 at the right time, समझ लो तुम लोगों का लेवल बढ़ गया है.
True. And also, Amrutan, people have been struggling to beat Shakhriyar Mamedyarov and Duda in this tournament. And Mamedyarov is right now worse against Gukesh. By the way, I'm just looking at one tactic here. Rook d4. Why
What
is
happens
this a
knight?
blunder? Because if you take, I can take on e1. But why is this a blunder, guys? Can you tell me white to play? Come on, focus. Guys, try to focus, everyone here.
Even if you take, I have to focus, kya?
Come on, find. What's the move here? Not rook e6. Then it's like you took one pawn, I took another pawn. And yes.
Oh, yeah. This is so true. You just need to focus.
And the right answer has been mentioned by Sayan, Avichal, Prashant, Vector, Narayan Singh, Anonymous, Shivam, Gabbu, Siddharth, and Akshat Gupta. Well done, all of you, for finding a3. Just deflecting the queen, and next move you can take the rook. The queen cannot stay on this diagonal.
Good question, Sagar. It was.
Thank you. Okay, meanwhile, Hari Krishna. Can he convert this position against Duda?
Okay, he also started with h4.
He started with h4, and now, Amrita, if we land in such a position,
it is a draw. I don't think you have any.
This is draw. For sure.
I mean, you firstly won't take everything, but
I think he will go rook e7, but then we will again land up in something similar only.
No, you retain your rooks because that file is important. And slowly irritate him. Look, already he got irritated.
Because I wanted to go rook e8.
But
and
one
guys,
second,
what is a good move here for white? Like such a position, rook e8, if black gets, it's a draw, but it's white to move. You have this move. आज की रात है, होना है क्या, हो जाने दो, खोना है क्या, खो जाने दो. rook e8 मूव ही नहीं आ रहा है, अमृता.
क्यों? Oh.
Yes, but our chat is very, very strong.
Amazing. Chess is fun. Suniti Gupta, Rohan Balasubramaniam, Narayan Singh, Chess for Fun, Prashant Tiwari, Bhigi Billu, Edu Fun Chess, Hardik Kalia, and Movie Snaps. H5. It's like black just bluffed a threat, and what you did was to ignore that.
I mean, I was thinking, why is this not working? Is there h6, but
yeah,
not
h6 is not working. Rook d6, a beautiful blow here. So, and if black does not get rook e8, then you have got h5, which is an important move. already with the threat of queen g4.
Yeah.
So actually, Hari is definitely putting pressure on
थोड़ा
Durga.
बहुत तो pressure Hari Krishna is putting
Yeah.
for sure. Meanwhile, Gukesh, let's see if he's able to beat Mamedyarov, because Mamedyarov is very resourceful even in worse positions.
Yeah.
So if we give a roundup,
Yeah,
Amrita.
let's go to Roundup again
Oh,
with Arjun's
Anish
game.
Giri ruled in the
Dance
line.
इधर
Tadam.
चला मैं उधर यही था ना
हाँ.
जाने कहाँ मैं किधर चला.
Aditya Mittal, by the way, against David Anton, playing with the black pieces. David Anton in great form here today, winning both the games. Let's see if Aditya can stop him. Vincent versus Arjun. What a game this is. Right now, it seems like
Oh.
Vincent's pieces have found homes. You know, Amrita, start में घर नहीं था सारे पीस को, पर अब all pieces look nicely positioned and it seems like Vincent is clearly better. If you go g5, that pawn is a free pawn, so you can't push it.
Oh my God.
So
What was the turning point here? Like when he played c4 and
not turning point, but yeah, overall I think black got better धीरे धीरे.
but a4 move is a slightly, you're giving up the b4 square. So what Arjun would have thought,
King b1
because he
was
wanted
better.
to play a4. Slightly surprising. And now he played no, this was your move, I think. He played something else.
Yeah,
He played
he played
h3.
h3.
But
Let's go to
still,
Vidit's
it's
game.
slightly bad.
The
but
worst
not
position for Arjun. Meanwhile, Vidit had a plus position, but now it seems like it may end in a draw. Amrita, what about knight f5, gf5, knight f5? This is hanging.
So support it, queen d8. Oops.
Then
f4.
f4.
So hanging doesn't really matter here. You move the king. King h7.
King h7.
But then anyway it is hanging. Queen e1 check, king h2 is there.
I think the move what you
one
need
how
to
do you
play is
defend?
queen e4. That's the only move.
Oh. See guys, this is a counter attack. And that was the defense.
But if Vidit plays this, this will be interesting actually.
But f4? Queen d4 check. It ends there.
How does queen d4 work, by the way? Because d4 is defended, no, by the knight.
Okay, I blundered.
So f4.
Good, you're awake.
But this is not attacked, Amrita, because the queen is hanging. So I can break the pin. It gets very complex.
Actually, yeah.
I think Vidit should think about sacking on f5. This
Yeah, because
looks-
if it doesn't take on f5, then what else can he go for? Queen f4, right?
Oh, by the way, Amrita, look at Hari Krishna's game.
Oh, he played rook f8?
No, h4, f6, rook e6. Oh, he didn't go rook e7. He went rook e6. So take king f7.
Acha, the same position which we were analyzing had rook on f7. He played king f7. And now h5 is what Hari has
Oh,
got. This
what a
is
beautiful
cool.
trap.
This is cool.
Let me ask the chat. Guys,
Now if rook e8, the difference is you
look,
cannot
look.
take on
If
d6.
queen d7, then after take, guys, what is the winning move here for white?
Wow, Sagar. You know what? The ability you have.
To be a good husband. Huh? No.
To ask good questions. Oh God. To ask good questions.
Amrita, am I a good husband? Is that a good question?
That's now comes in the personal section. So we may have to create another YouTube channel and you can ask all the questions there. I won't be, giving all the answers out here right now.
Okay, let's look at this. Yes, dear chat, all those who said rook e7, you are right.
Yes.
Because you're going to win a queen after queen e7, bishop g6. The king can no longer defend the queen and you are winning. So all the people who gave the answer rook e7.
Yuk, Sonigara, Ashish, Anand, movie snaps, chess is fun. Aipilu, Hariharan, Krishnamurthy, Ankit, Ishan Garg, Akshat Zori, and Rohan Balasubramaniam. Great, nice. Because the whole point of rook e7 was bishop g6.
He went rook g8. That's why he's not. That's why Hari has some pressure. But now queen d7 is the plan. So you need to keep it going. You know, guys, वो रहता है ना कि there is a flame that is there's a flame that is burning, and you need to keep putting wood to it. The moment you stop, the fire will sort of extinguish, and I think Hari didn't put the wood at the right time.
So where did he, let's say, miss it?
Because now queen d7, then he has
Bishop
to
g6
run.
is no more happening.
Yeah.
That same idea.
So the
what
move-
should he have played? He should not have taken here.
Instead of taking, if he had gone c4 here.
Oh, because the king is on f7, kind of weak there. One second, my natural question which comes to the mind is why not to take here? Because you are deciding to exchange those minor pieces. And is this major piece endgame good enough?
Yeah, it looks quite interesting because you are winning this pawn, threatening here. So it looks pretty okay. Oh, meanwhile, Amruta, this has happened in Vidit's game. F5, knight F5 has been played. GF5, knight F5. Vidit taking that leap of faith, sacrificing the pieces, and Eric Hansen finding the best defense with queen E4, offering a trade of queens.
Wow.
Vidit now had to go F4 still and bishop g7, but he goes bishop f4, which is not the best move. And Amruta, I must tell you that Eric Hansen has had a very good score against Vidit Gujarati. Somehow Vidit brings the best out of Eric.
But I still don't understand why bishop f4 is so bad.
No, it's not bad or something. Like bishop e7 was the correct move here to hold on to the position, and then it's not so easy.
Even for black it is not so easy. That's why Vidit played bishop f4, and then after bishop g7 he does get the chance to equalize. I don't even know how much to believe the bar.
The thing is, Vidit has to find again the only move f3, because if there is any other move, like this is no other move. You can't move your queen, your knight will fall. You can't move your bishop, your queen will fall. What else do you do? If you go king h2 trying to play
Knight
it this
e6.
way,
No, I am defending
knight e6.
G7 bishop now, and I am a piece up. Correct.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so if that is the only move he'll find. Actually, he will find. Okay, let's
Amrita,
look
can
at
we
the
look
next
at Gukesh's game?
And also one time also please show Magnus's game, because that was also
Wow,
very
look at
interesting.
Gukesh. He's got a completely
Winning.
better position, close to winning now, or not close, but clearly winning. Queen c5 was played, and now after a3, forcing him to take, because if you took on b3, you would lose your rook.
So he believed in this end game. Once the queens are exchanged, he wins the material. In fact, a4 and c6 pawn is also very weak. Also, the black king on h7 is going to face a lot of trouble.
Here rook c6 allows a little bit of counterplay with rook d3, but better could have been Amrita to go rook d6 and then take it, because if he goes rook c8, knight d4 or knight e5, knight d4, and this gives white a lot of play. Like this gives black no play. So that's the best way to play. Duda versus Hari, sort of equalish. And Arjun versus Vincent. Interesting position.
Arjun versus Vincent complicated. It's still complicated. I mean, whatever the bar says, one thing black has to take care is his king is weak against the double bishop, and his bishop on b4 is in some way slightly stuck. So कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Let's quickly check a few. Who else?
Magnus's game, what's up, Sagar? Because that was an interesting position. So can you just... Bapre, the king has landed on e7.
Nodirbek has not given Magnus any real chance here in this game, it seems.
Yeah, but is this good enough for him to convert is also a question. Because ये तो weakness है. But how to reach here? It's not so easy. Oh,
What?
look at
F5.
this.
What a move.
But what is the idea?
No, if just to get to h7 pawn.
So suppose you take here,
Bishop f5.
then you take here, and this is what exactly we wanted. Suppose you take here, again bishop f5.
I think you have to play e5.
And then there's a, yeah. So you can't allow this opening. So obviously you're gonna play e5, keeping this. Now if I take here, then you are again going to play fg6, and this is fine. ठीक है, not like clear at all. Let's go to Arjun's game because it's complicated. Oh, by the way, look at the time Vincent is having. 20 seconds. Dude, it's slightly difficult to defend in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Don't
By
you
the way,
think
look
so?
at Vidit's move. King h2.
He actually played it,
Yeah.
but then it allows 96.
96
Oh
is,
my god.
what is his idea? 96.
Because he defends the knight also in some way. He defends the g7 bishop. He attacks the bishop. Many ideas here with one move.
Can you play 96?
Yeah, he played 96.
Oh, nice.
And Vidit played g3 here.
Yeah, because if knight f4, queen g7 is a mate.
Yeah, so what is the move which black can play here is also something which you have to find. Maybe black can get this knight now to g5. The main problem is that ye bishop is such a pin that not any scope to maneuver and to move the pieces to actually put pressure, and not just knight g5, but it comes with a vengeance after the move g3. So knight of g5 would be very strong, and he plays knight of g5. Very tough to defend this one. Let's check the other game. Oh, Arjun has got some advantage now. As we were discussing, it is hard for Vincent to play under time pressure. Last few moves, queen f7 happened, queen g4, c takes d5, and bishop c3. Materially, Vincent is a pawn up right now. Yes, it's strong, but the king here and this rook on c1, deadly combo. I think even the queen is just completely deadly. Look at this. The knight cannot move anywhere where it doesn't control f5. Otherwise, bishop f5 check. Gone. Okay, he takes the bishop on b2, but it's a very bad move. What Vincent just played. With 10 seconds, it was very hard. So he played bishop b2, king b2. Now the threat is, okay, this is hanging. He goes king b8. Important is to go here, and it's a double attack. He finds it. Arjun finds it within a few seconds. This is over, guys. This is over. Arjun is winning material. Rook d7. Give a check here. And just take the piece. And you're a piece up. So this game, Arjun is winning. Amazing. Here, knight of g5, Vidit is still thinking, not much to do. Gukesh is winning here with Mamedov. Wow, he's got this pawn to c6. This rook is stopping the promotion of the b pawn. Knight is beautifully placed. In fact, this king can come in any danger at a point. If you know this pattern, then yes, it always keeps giving pressure. Rook c2. Take the pawn on b3. You can be okay to give up the f2 pawn. He goes king f3. This also works. You cannot take the pawn on f2 right now because king takes c4. That would be a blunder. So nice move here. So Gukesh is winning. Quickly going to Duda's game. Hari versus Duda. Hari has lost the slight edge. So right now this is equal. Not dead draw, but equal with some chances. And going to Northerberg, yes, Magnus did continue with e5. So in fact, it is now Magnus who has slight better. It's, the whole pawn structure is fixed. It's now going towards a closed kind of position, surprisingly. Okay, these are the updates. Yes, Arjun has beaten Vincent. That was a nice finish. I think time pressure really got uh, Vincent here. And any chances here for Vidit? Just let's have a quick look. Queen f3. If you take knight f3 check and then you just lose this bishop. If you don't take, like if you go queen h4, okay, now it's gonna be a mate. And then knight f3 check. Okay, Vidit has lost here. Let's stick with Gukesh for a moment. Yes, LPDO in Arjun's game. Very important. Oh, we have to check Aditya's game as well. Yes, thanks for reminding. ठीक है यहाँ पे तो there is no stress because Gukesh is 2 pawns up. That too he has a rook pawn, very nicely placed king. There is no possibility for black to get any compensation. तो यहाँ पे कोई doubt नहीं है. Let's look at Aditya's game. It started late, so we still have some time to reach the time pressure. David is slightly better. It's the same colored bishop, equal pawns. A5 looks like a strong move with the ideas of A4. Well, it's an interesting endgame which we must look at a little deeply soon. I would really like to check out the two games because in Hari's game, the light squares are quite weak, the knight is pretty passive, and the king is also slightly exposed. So can't really say that this is a dead equal position. Anything can happen. Time is equal for both. Queen e7. क्या करे? How do you continue? This is defended. This is defended. Queen e1 could be a threat. At some point, do you just ignore and start to create a bind here with a4? Oops. With a4, a5, that looks like a good idea. He goes bishop d3. Hari goes bishop d3. And oh, by the way, we have a result coming. Gukesh has won the game against Mamadero. Very, very well played. This was the last move. King d4. Oh, Mamadero just gave a piece. I mean, of course, it was lost, more like resign. Let's have Aditya on the screen as well. By the way, is there anything happening in Magnus's game? Oh, Northerberg has got his queen on e8. It has turned out to be extremely complicated because this pawn has reached e3. White is going to be threatening queen f7 in the future. Right now, king a7, it's white to play. Can white play queen f7? And then just check and queen e1, queen d2. So there's this perpetual idea as well. Not so clear. Complicated, but looks like going towards a draw. Is he going to give a perpetual? Queen a4 check. King b8. Queen e8 check. Is Nadir going to give a perpetual? But I doubt. I think he will play this king. If you look at this this box here, it's completely without any pawns. Completely exposed king. Very surprising that black is still defending this. Magnus is defending this so well. Okay, yes, Nadirbek did not agree, did not give perpetual. He played b4, queen takes h6, and now Nadirbek is a pawn down, but the king is exposed. So this is also very interesting, guys. We will come here also. Abhi kiska dekhenge? Which one? Hari. Anything has happened in Hari's game. The king has run to b6. Now is the time. Keep the pawn on a4. Push the pawn to a4. Hari, come on. Yes. Amazing. a4. So it's a great move with the idea of a5. I mean, not immediately. You may go queen c3 and then a5. Yeah, he gives a check. King g2. The knight jumps in. Knights are the best blockaders, and you can see this was a passed pawn. So this knight is doing its job well right now. Now, can you go a5? Because if king a5, there is queen takes c5. But there is also queen a5 here. Oh, he plays a5. So what has he planned for queen takes a5? Queen takes a5. Maybe the structure over here is weak. Maybe you go and attack it and you cannot really defend it. Could be a possibility. Very interesting move a5. You cannot play here, guys. It's over. Queen takes c5, b5. Check de do, or just take the knight with the check as well. So a5 is a nice tactic here. Critical moment for Duda. He has to go king b5. It's important. Will he play that? He has 1 minute 20 seconds. Or will he take queen takes a5? If he takes queen takes a5, it does give some play to Hari. Queen b2. Attack the f6 pawn. And you don't just attack the f6 pawn, but you also attack the d6 knight. Again, a key thing to understand is when you attack this. Oh, he plays king b5. He finds the move. What we were just looking at very quickly, I will show you after queen b2 here. Let's say a random move. I mean, there is no random move, but let's say you go queen e1 again. The problem was after queen f6, this is attacked, and if king c7 here, okay, you can take here. Right now, queen e7 is controlled. Okay, but king b5, very nice move by Duda. Bishop e2 check. King has to run. King b4. Oh, is he threatening any mate? No, queen a4. There is still king c3. The king is running. Not yet. But what a run it has been for the king. $50 for Duda. King c3. Right now, a very important move Hari must find, which is queen a3, and it's a tough move to find in 20 seconds. It's a tough move. Oh, he finds it. He finds this move. You cannot take on e2. I mean, you cannot take on e2 queen c5. You can take, but it's equal. So he goes king d4. Now give a check here. If king c3, then go queen a3 again. Yeah, he gives a check. He gives a check. If king d5, it's going to get a little crazy because Hari will be a pawn down, but with this king in the center, will give interesting play to white. There are some weaknesses, as we all know. f6 is critical weakness. Oh, I think Duda will play king d5. I think he will play king d5. Super focused. Will he play king d5 or will he go king c3, accept a draw? Oh, he goes king d5 as predicted. Do you want to give a check here? Check. Knight e4. Another check. और एक चेक दे दो. क्वीन d7 चेक. कहाँ जाने वाला है ये किंग? किंग e5. क्वीन e8 चेक. किंग इतना सेंटर में है बट इट्स स्टिल able to defend itself. The queen is somewhere else. Like, I don't care, you find your way. Yet everything is safe. Queen a2. Not the best idea. For what reason? This is not a good idea. Oh, black has a strong move. Duda has a strong move. Yes, he played f5. A very good move. g4 is a threat. What do you do now? Oh no, Hari plays g4 trying to stop Duda's g4, but in any case there is f takes g4. Queen a2 was played to support f2 there. But अभी बहुत problem है. It's a big problem. Takes. And the problem is because Duda is a pawn up, let's not forget that. Queen d2 challenging the exchange of the queen, which cannot be avoided because the f2 will be lost. Even knight d2 works. You have threats like queen f1. Queen e4. Knight f1 as well. Okay, he goes bishop h3. Now you can go queen f1 check. काफ़ी सारे checks है. 10 seconds Hari had. And now Duda is having 15 seconds. He's not happy. He's not happy. He's trying to find. Look at his expression. Queen e4. You can't go f3. He'll take. If you go king g3 anyway, queen f3. He goes king h2. But then knight f3 check. And g4. It's over. It's almost over. Oh my god. Now check. And then f4. Then g4. First a check and then g4. Oh, he goes king e5. This was simpler though. But maybe a check here and there. That's it. Because this idea you cannot stop. Queen f4. He goes queen c3. There is also queen h4 and then g4. King d6. But very passive position because if 3 is controlled, what else do? You cannot think of exchanging the queens. This is weak. Okay, this is lost. Hari is losing here. He played so well and he had got such an amazing middle game position after h5. Even now it was like almost, oh, there's gonna be a perpetual, but a very complicated endgame to play accurately in 10 and 20 seconds. So the whole mess up has happened and Hari has lost and look at him. He's so upset because he could never be on that side where he can lose. Oh man, it hurts. Chess is brutal and it hurts. Definitely a sad thing. He really played so beautifully. I mean, this h5 tak yahan pe it was a great position for him, though very slight better, but c4 was important and Duda was completely under pressure. Anyway, it happens. It's a part of the game. Let's check out Aditya's game. What's going on there? Oh my god. Aditya has now landed in a troubled position. He's exchanged down. But wait, is there a fortress? Only one queen move. Oh, hello, Joy. What's up? Magnus game. Oh, Magnus's game. Let's also check Magnus's game because it was something really crazy. In fact, Nodirbeg is a piece down. His bishop is gayab from the board. Completely gayab. This pawn on f7 is like, yay, I'm about to queen, but still, that one move away. He's one move away, which obviously Magnus is not going to allow. So, looks like a perpetual here. King a4. Queen d1. Sorry, king f5 is not there. Yeah, perpetual cannot be stopped. The question is, does Magnus have anything else? No, because the f8 queening square cannot be controlled with the knight. I mean, you needed either your knight on c5 or knight on d8, so that when the queen moves, you can go knight e6. But again, the queen goes with a check. You don't even have time. So clearly, it's going to be perpetual. But the game was so good. That ऐसी ड्रॉ तो ड्रॉ भी नहीं लगती, you know. It's all about the fight. And the joke is back in the chat why Robert Downey is playing chess. ठीक है, look, he's got knight d8, queen d8, queen takes f7. Magnus is a pawn up. Dude, is there any chances? Yeah, the pawn is lost. Wow, but it can still be a race. These guys are fighting hell. Look at them. Look at Norderberg and look at Carlsen. Whoa, such a complicated game to play. b5. In this race, the advantage with black is to have his king near. To have the king as a defender for his passers. At the same time, the disadvantage is that the pawns are going to, advance with check. So eventually, it is going to land up in a position where we have to know at which point it's going to be a perpetual. So that will be the question for Magnus's game. All the other games are over except for Magnus and Aditya. Magnus ka game right now in 10 seconds we'll just check if they are giving perpetual finally. King a5, queen e1 check here. If you try to, oops, he's given a check, yeah. If you try to push the pawn on h7, that's h4, it's still possible, but he gives a check. King a5, queen e1 check, king e4, okay. So, yeah, he's giving perpetual. And it's a draw. Magnus's game has also ended in a draw. So, right now, let's look at Aditya versus David. Where did he lose the exchange is an important point. So they got something like this: rook c1, king e2, rook b1, king d2. यहाँ पे check. He got the a2 pawn, and the rook was trapped. So it was a conscious decision by Aditya. Maybe he thought that this is a fortress. Highly possible because you could not have taken here, and this king pawn endgame should be a draw. So we've landed in this position, and the question is it a fortress? Because this pawn is very strong. Then there is bishop on e6, but the computer says white is winning. If white is winning, what is the plan? The plan is simple: e4, because you want to keep this bishop away. So is the plan e4? I mean, not simple. I'm just saying it could be e4. What else? What do you think, guys? What do you think of the plan? I'll also show you very quickly. Oh no, he played bishop c4. Was it a zugzwang? Because if you go king h7, then comes king f6. Yeah, that's a problem. And if you go king g6, then comes e4 with the threat of ef5. This is pinned. Even if you take, there is f5. This is pinned. So actually, it was a zugzwang. That's why this is losing, because white is able to create a passed pawn. Quickly, I'll show you the standings. Right now, Duda is still leading and Arjun is on number 2. Let's come back to this again, guys, because the game is about to end. Bishop d1. E5 check देना है तो check दे दो. Travel with Nikhil Roshan super chats. Dear chat, please hit the like button and help us reach 2.5k. Thanking in anticipation. You all are such a lovely audience. Hello Amrita ji. Hello Travel with Nikhil Roshan. Thank you so much for a wonderful super chat and hope your shairis are going well. King g5 पे आके बैठा है. Go bishop e6, but then f5. He goes bishop d1. Anyway, f5. Time for the little one to advance. Yes. f5. अभी f6 है, e6. I think not much here, but David managed the endgame very smoothly. It was not so, so easy to play such a flawless endgame with a strong opponent. So we all are seeing David's, strength there. Yes, Aditya has resigned and David has managed to beat Aditya, who has been in great form. If you just look at Aditya, he's not very happy, which is a good sign. You want to beat the opponents. Okay, standings now. Duda leads with 24 points. Arjun on number 2. Wow, amazing, 21. Then there is Mamedarov on 20, Abdusattarov on 19. Gukesh has reached the 5th spot, 18 points, followed by Magnus. Magnus is following Gukesh, guys. He's also on 18. Richard on 17. Anish on 17 on number 8, slightly at the edge. Anton on 14. Naroditsky on 13. Vincent on 12. Vidit on 11, Aditya on 9, Niels on 7, Hari on 7 and Eric on 7. So these are the standings. And right now we have, this is the last round for today, right? So if this is the last round, then what do we say? 24 for sure, Arjun for sure qualifies. एक सेकेंड है, लेट मी सी इफ आई एम नॉट मेकिंग अ मिस्टेक. 14, 15, 16, 17 आज ही है ना क्वालिफिकेशन या कल है? ओके, देयर इज वन मोर राउंड. ओके, सॉरी, कल. No, today we have one more round, but is it today that we are going to see the qualifiers or tomorrow? 4 games including this one. Okay, it is tomorrow. So these are the standings. So as of now, we can say Arjun and Gukesh are almost I mean, Gukesh has to still play consistently, but almost they are going to get in. Anish also has very good chances, and maybe some chances with Vidit. Depends tomorrow. So, two people today. Let's go to the next round. I believe it has started. Yes, 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 guys, it has started. Let me have the people on the board. Eric Hansen versus Gukesh. Just give me a moment until I set the things up. Oops. I think Aditya's game will start a little later. Arjun's game is also not started. But let's have them because it will be starting soon. Yeah. Do we have all of them? Maybe we'll have Arjun after the game starts. Okay. We have Karukan on the board, e4, c6, knight f3, d5, d3, and for a moment I will be calling Mr. Sagar Shah if he wants to join us. Okay, let's go, let's go. So Karokan here, d3 line, bishop g4, h3, and Gukesh. Oops, let me flip the board already. Yes, Gukesh has given his light square bishop, and now starting to place his pawn on the light squares, which is a good idea, as we all know. Knight f6, bishop g2, bishop e7, castle, castle, rook e1, and here comes a5. A very, very typical move. You want to put the pawn on a4, create some congestion over there. Queen e2, knight a6. Knight has developed to a6 instead of d7 because he wants to go to c7 here. A nice square for sure. Knight d2, a4, a3, because you don't want to allow this a3 forever over there, because otherwise one more problem would be later knight b4 would also jump in. So he goes a3, knight c5. In fact, knight went to c5, e5, knight d7. Right now it is very well defended. Eric went knight f3, and Gukesh started with b5. A complete queen side play by Gukesh here. h4 has been played, a lot like this King's Indian attack, where you have the pawn on e5, you go h4, you have a knight. Generally at that point you have another knight which comes to g4, and some things happening over here. So that is but the main difference is there is one knight less, either one knight less. That is the main difference. Anyway, Gukesh goes rook e8. I still feel that for Eric, after h5, he is going to be putting some pressure on the king's side for Gukesh. So this is the game we will be watching out for. Knight g5 was played. You may want to kick the knight away by f6, but a very committal decision to weaken the e6. That's why maybe you have the rook here. The other idea is to just simply put your knight on f8, which defends these pawns here. That would be the other, but definitely Gukesh has to be careful on the king side. Let's go to the next game. Let's go to Arjun's game. No, it has not started yet. What about Vidit? Vidit also right now has which opening? Let's have a quick look here. Okay, we have reached this position. Vidit is black and Vincent is white. Nice bishop on this diagonal. Nicely placed pawn on e4. Whenever there is a pawn which doesn't, allow the knight to stay here, whenever you have a bishop here putting pressure on h2, white has to be careful. White has to be careful. So he goes rook takes c4 right now. Do you want to go queen e5, attack this? Ask him whether you want to go g3. And then put this bishop on h3. Looks very interesting. Overall, I like Vidit's position very much. After queen e5, please note there is no immediate discovered attack. Also, the bishop on b2 is not defended. So, queen e5 would be an interesting move. Another interesting idea, as we have said it again and again and again today, which is, guys, for black, another interesting idea sooner or later is, oh, by the way, this is happening. Bishop has gone to h3. The other interesting idea would be at some point, oops, h5, h4. Take a bishop h3. If rook e1, maybe you want to challenge this c5. Go rook c8. That could be a possibility. What is Vincent thinking? Isn't that a forced move? Your rook is hanging. You cannot give it up. Yes, he goes rook e1. Now, probably Vidit is going to plan and exchange the rook, that one active rook which white has. So, in all, a nice position for Vidit here. Gukesh versus Eric Hansen. Yes, as we have discussed, still slight pressure on Gukesh. What about Arjun versus... Oh, we have Aditya Mittal versus Arjun Erigasi. Wait, let me get Aditya also in the camera. Yes. So we do have all of them. We need Vincent. And we also need Eric. Okay. चैट में क्या चल रहा है guys? So d4, Aditya played d4 and Arjun went knight c6. Oh, does it have a name, guys? I mean, I don't know the name for d4 knight c6, but in case you know, write in the chat. Knight f3 and now d5. Is it a reverse Jubaba? c4, bishop g4, knight c3. Arjun decides to take the knight off from the board. Bishop takes f3. A decision here whether you want to take with the g pawn or the e pawn. Both are possible. G pawn is generally more dynamic. You could prefer that. Let's see. Yeah. He is thinking, Aditya is thinking. Okay. What about, we'll just wait a bit, and if he's going to make a move, gf3 or ef3. You guys, what is your liking in this kind of a position? You have to take a decision. gf3 or ef3. He goes ef3. Lesser dynamic than gf3. Okay. What is Arjun having in mind? Now d5 is hanging. Is he going to play e6 right now? Is he going to play knight f6? I'm sure he's not going to take here and allow another developing move. Bishop takes c4. So in general, the position is favorable for white because the opening has been very unusual, and but he has risked it. He has risked it, in fact, going for such a original opening, an original play. He goes e6 here. He's got Aditya out of the opening preparation, which is important because when you know your opponent is very strongly prepared. Let's see what happens here. Going to Vincent's game, as we were seeing there, what Vidit continued with bishop h3, rook e1, he went rook e8. He did not challenge the rook on c8. He doesn't want to exchange it, in fact. So rook e8 was played. Now Vincent has a possibility of going knight f5, attacking the bishop here. So if you play queen takes b2, anyway, oh, he goes knight f5. He doesn't leave that chance. If you go here queen f5, then there is queen d6. You cannot go bishop f5. It's a blunder because there is bishop e5. So either queen f5 or queen b2 are the options. With it takes the bishop. He liked the bishop. He took the bishop. And knight takes d6 is where we are right now. Rook e7 guards the 7th rank very well. But now maybe Vincent can just go rook d4. Firstly, blocking the way as well. Secondly, defending the very powerful knight on d6. So rook d4 is a nice move. Will he find it? Will he play it? Okay, I think that d4 knight c6 is not a name, any opening name. So rook d4 is a nice move. We will come back to this. What about Aditya and Arjun? Yeah, after e6 takes bishop b5, bishop b4, and now queen a4, threatening check and taking the bishop here on b4. So either you have to take here or you have to go queen d7, so that for bishop c6 there is bishop c3 intermediate move. But taking would not be a good idea. Takes knight e7, bishop a3, double bishop with white, so that would be very favorable for white. Arjun may need to go queen d7 here. In fact, from the opening, we can say he is the one who is in trouble. In Vidit's game, queen d4 has been played. He does not play rook d4. He went queen d4. But what is his plan for queen takes a2? Vidit can chop off this pawn on a2. Is it going to give enough compensation to Vincent? I'm not very sure about that. So queen a2, and Vidit takes the pawn. He is a pawn up with a nice position. Let's see what happens. Can we quickly check the other games as well? Oh, Hari Krishna is black against Mohamed Arif. This is the position right now we are in. The king on f2. Of course, what else are you going to expect from Sharks games? They're always very interesting. If you take here knight takes e5, then he has queen f5 attacking the e5 knight. And if you move back with the knight comes knight d4 with a tempo. So in general, white has a very good position here after d takes e5. Materially, 6 pawns versus 7 pawns. So materially, for the moment, Shark is a pawn up, and the compensation in return with Hari is that white's king is exposed. Let's not forget that black's king is also in the center. And castling is not going to be easy because of, the rook already being on g1 and g5 and all these ideas as well happening right there. So d e5. So Hari has a few options. He could consider knight c5, knight e5, or castle. But this is a complicated game and will be very interesting. Okay, he takes on e5, and Mamedarev quickly plays queen f5 without even any thought. Without any thought. Maybe I will have to have him on the screen. Yeah, this has happened and he played knight d7, knight d4. No, knight d7 has not happened. Okay, what about Vidit's game? Because he had won the pawn. उसके आगे क्या हुआ क्या? Rook a4. Queen goes back to e6 and now everything is safe. Yes, for sure this is weak. But right now you cannot take here. It would be a blunder because takes and you will lose the knight. There is no back rank mate. Rook goes to e8. a7 is definitely weak but cannot be taken. Let's not forget the king on g1 is also weak. So with its position is good. What about Gukesh? What has happened there? Can we have a look at that? Eric Hansen versus Gukesh. Yeah, we left at knight f4. Gukesh went back with his knight to a6 and now d4. So firstly the center is closed, it is committed, and Gukesh is not having the bad light squared bishop. He's having the knights. Important is he has to find a good place for the knights. He went c5, c3, c takes d5, c takes d5. The c file has been opened. He goes b4, already trying to, open the queen side even further. Queen goes to g4. There is a pin here. Sooner or later, bishop h6 is going to be a strong threat. Knight h5 is also happening. B takes a3, b takes a3, and the knight went to b8. Wants to go to c6 so that there is a strong pressure on the d4 pawn, which does not have a supporter. And Eric is thinking in this situation. What should he do? Guys, come on, focus. So after knight b8, even if the position looks passive, which is passive for black, definitely very passive, yet defendable. The bishop and f8 does superb job. Defense g7. There is pressure in the future if it goes to endgame. The knight is coming to c6. The rook is going to come to b8, b3. The queen might jump to b6. So this is going to get complicated. It all depends whether Eric will be able to create the play on the queen side as fast as possible or not. Okay. By the way, Anish Giri has ended his game. It ended in a draw against Narodetsky. Oh, very interesting is in Carlsen's game, there is a pawn here on g2. What is it doing? What is it doing here? How did it happen? So e4. So there was a disco here after e4. This is hanging. This is hanging. He took here. Niels took here. He went back. He did not take the exchange. Because of, guys, why did Magnus not take the exchange? What should black play here? What should black play here? Yes, 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 you guys are right. Knight c3 is the move, and if you move the queen, then there is check. If you go to h1, then there is such a beautiful mate. F takes g2 is a mate. This is controlled. So that's why you couldn't take here on f8. So Magnus went back bishop b2, pawn takes g2, rook went to e1, and knight went to d7 here. Um, for some reason, it was important for Niels to go rook e8, but he went knight e7, knight e4, and this is the current position. Bishop a3. There is a possibility of fork here, but b4 is there. So this is an interesting game. We'll just have a look at it quickly. Like, oh, Vidit is winning, guys. Vidit is winning. Kya baat hai? Wow. Queen e6 ko bishop c4 was played. Queen went to d7, and now b6 looks like a nice, putting pressure here. There is a pin here, but simply a6. It's like I don't care. Okay, a6. Rook went to a5. A mistake by Vincent here, because rook went to d8. I am attacking the knight. What are you going to do? Where is the knight going to go after a6? All the squares have been taken for the knight. The knight is trapped. The knight is trapped. He went rook d1, defending the knight, and Vidit went queen g4 now, with the idea of you keep defending the knight, but I am threatening mate. I want more here. So queen g4, and now because the rook is on d1, there is no bishop e2 as well. So he's thinking. He is thinking, can he go a move like bishop f1? But then you can simply take on f1, king f1, and it's like rook d7, putting more pressure on the knight. He is losing material. Oh, okay. Wow, that is clear winning position for Vidit, which we are seeing. So queen g4, and Vincent is thinking. Yes. Okay. So अभी देखते हैं. Let's have a look at what happened to Hari's game after queen f5. This happened. Queen f5, queen c7. Hari played bishop f4. I'm going to take the knight on e5. Bishop went to f6. He's defended it, and now threatening castle. Maybe black may be threatening castle. Rook e1 looks like a natural idea to put pressure on the e file. In fact, forcing black to castle, because ये रुक के सामने क्या ही तुम करोगे. So you would want to castle. So Hari is still in trouble. What about Gukesh? He was in trouble. Is he? Not too much trouble. It was after ba3, knight b8. Eric went knight h3 here. Gukesh went king h8. It's like, I don't want any pinning ideas here. He went king h8. Queen h5 was played. Right now threatening queen takes f7, and also increasing the pressure on h6. g6 Gukesh plays. No time for bishop h6. The queen is attacked. Queen goes back to f3, and now queen e7. He develops the queen. Shanti say h5 was played by Eric. Maybe it's a little premature. He should have waited, but he went h5, and Gukesh got g5, which is in fact a very good thing. Queen went to c3. There is no possibility of a sacrifice because it's very well guarded here. Queen went to c3, and now f5. Oh my god, what a play. Crazy, yeah? Sometimes Gukesh makes these crazy moves beyond understanding. Of course, there was a possibility to go knight b6 with the idea of knight c4 and then develop the other knight. This was another way. But white is also threatening f4 and wanting to create a lot of dynamics there. So he went f5. Interesting idea. And Eric is thinking. So there is an en passant, en passant, Indian version of en passant. If e takes f6, then will come knight takes f6. And the knight is attacking this h5 as well. Let's not forget that. That would be, this would be quite fine for black, though still the complications remain. But if he doesn't take on f6, if white decides to just ignore, not take on f6, let's say he goes f4, then g4 and this position is very good for Gukesh, because again the h5 is a lonely weakness, you know, so that won't work. So f4 idea is stopped. If Eric decides to ignore everything and go rook b1, which he has not gone, I guess. Oh, he went rook b1. Sorry. He went rook b1 right now. A very, very good move. Not going for f4, not, being patient, not going for ef6. Just showing high class patience. Rook a7. You want to stop rook b7. But, well, going knight a6 again doesn't even look like a human move, right? So Gukesh went rook a7. So f5 has come with its critics. Yeah, it's not an easy move. You have committed the weak 7th rank as well. One thing I know that such positions Gukesh will love playing. It is completely his style, and that is one important psychological advantage he has. So let's see. Also ये h5 पे काफ़ी नज़र रख के है, तो कुछ हो सकता है क्या? It is important to see. Bishop f1 was a very nice move, trying to, maneuver at the right time, going bishop b5. Gukesh goes queen d8. Okay, definitely some passive position. Let's move to VD's game. Okay, and he's clearly winning now. What were the last few moves? Queen g4, rook d2, rook d7. You are losing material. So he decides, Vincent plays knight f7, decides to give up the queen. There is a strong threat right now. If all of you are alert, you will find it. If it was white to move, what would he play? Yes, yes, yes. जो सोए नहीं है उनको फटाफट मिल गया है. मानस, अभिनव, अक्षित, ध्रुव, आकाशदीप, आदर्श. Shabash. Knight h6 is the threat. There is a disco and then you will take the queen. So यहाँ पे if king f8, then there is knight d8. I mean, doesn't really matter. There is queen f3 and even if you count the material, if you count the material, white has 2 rooks for the queen, but mate in 1 has been threatened. How do you save it? If you try to go bishop f1, then there is a very beautiful move. Either you first, or stronger is to first play e3, attacking the rook. You cannot take the pawn because there is a mate in 1. And if you move the rook, let's say where, the question is where. If you move the rook somewhere, then there is queen d1. This is again mate in 1 is threatened. If you keep the rook here, then you lose this. So e3 is very powerful. So Vidit is winning. There is no scope for Vincent to find anything. King f8. It's happening on the board. In the meantime, let's check out Arjun's game. What's up there? Oh my god, the king is on d7. This king is on d1. Totally crazy game happening. Queen a4. Queen d6 was played. Bishop f4. Oh, look at this nice little move. If you take here, then there is bishop c6. Of course, if you take here, then there is queen c6 and you lose the move. So, bishop f4. Queen e6 check. किंग शांति से d1 पे गया, शांति से, because now he knows that this square is vacated. There's a pin down here. Bishop takes c3. For the moment, you have stopped rook e1. B takes c3. And now king d7. A very tough call for black to keep the king in the center. Why did he reject knight e7 is a question. He went king d7, rook e1, queen went to g6. Is Arjun liking his king on d7? I can't believe it. Queen a5. Now look at this. Queen c7 is happening. A nice move, making use of the pin. Rook c8. Queen a7. Again, it's all about the pin there. The pin. This knight. I don't think there is any chance of it getting out of it. Knight e7. Queen takes b7, and Aditya is clearly winning. Aditya is actually has managed to get out of that opening surprise and just completely winning. Yeah, the opening went wrong for Arjun. It was not even like something, something very beautiful Aditya had to find. Uh, Opening just went completely haywire. Queen g2. I don't know if there is any possibility of any miracle, but right now a good move, a good tactic which is possible is also bishop c7 here. That is possible. Well, one question which we asked, instead of king d7, could he not play something else like developing the knight here? Rook e1, queen goes to d7. Why not this? Bishop takes c6, you cannot take with the knight. You take with the pawn here. And then queen a3, again putting, you cannot castle. So even if you look at the position, it's not like black was getting to castle anytime. He will have to keep the king in the center anyway. He decided to go king d7 there. So very shocking result is going to be, okay, he plays bishop c7. Aditya is beating Arjun Erigasi. That's one thing. In this game, Vidit is beating Vincent Kamer. Sorry, I'll just catch up on the last moves. King f8, knight d8, queen went back to c8. Oh my god, what a backward move. Very tough one. What a beautiful move with it found. I mean, look at this move. यहाँ पे attack है, यहाँ पे attack है, and c1 square is also attacked. If you move the bishop, rook c5, he shanti se captures this piece. Rook c7, knight d5, and Vidit is simply material up now. Not just material up, but this problem also continues. So in this game, Vidit is winning. In Gukesh's game, what has happened? Oh my god, Gukesh is winning. What a good news. Crazy good news. I think we left the position at where? At which point? Sorry. Yeah. Rook b5. यहाँ पे. Knight c6. Queen e7, rook a1, rook c8. Shanti se everything is happening. You take the control of b file, I'll take the control of c file. Nobody cares about the king side. He goes knight a7. Now look at this weak point. Rook went to b4. Gukesh went queen e8. Attacked here and also attacked here. Must double attack. And Eric blundered. Eric went queen d1. Did he just forget to defend the b4 rook? Oh my god. He just oh, by the way, we have the result. Vidit beat Vincent Kamer. Okay. यहाँ पे bishop b, yeah, he just forgot about the rook. Very surprising, very shocking. Bishop takes b4, a takes b4, knight went to b6. It's been a long time since this knight has had these dreams and goals, and finally it's going to c4 square. But with exchange up, this position is simply, crushing. Okay, Eric is trying his best to complicate the matter as much as possible, but too far away from it already. Now this rook will jump to g7. This king is weak. Everything is well defended. The knight is really getting pinched at this edge of the board. Okay, maybe good time for it to jump, but no, Eric takes on f5. Eric takes on f5. This check is very interesting, and the queen gets in strongly. The knight will jump to e3. Yes, Gukesh gives the check. Oh my. Amazing. King f1. Queen g3. Attack the h3 knight. बोलो कहाँ जाओगे, क्या करोगे जिंदगी में? नाइट बोलेगा आई हैव अ प्लान. नाइट f4. I have a plan, but I'm alone on the journey. देखो ना, सब इधर है. Bishop takes e3, f takes e3. He went knight e3. He decided to, get rid of the bishop first. Now if queen f3, now he's getting this rook here. Still everything is well defended. Nothing to worry. So Gukesh is winning. That's the good news. Any twist in Aditya's game? No, Aditya is also winning against Arjun Erigase. In fact, now it is converted into a huge material advantage. There is a queen, there is rook and knight for the queen, and if you count the pawns, they are all equal, and the king remains weak. So let's stick to Eric's game for now and see how Gukesh plans to finish it. Also, see if by any chance, anything is not missed, because the king is slightly weak. By the way, Mamedero has beaten Hari Krishna, so that game is over. And also I'll quickly take a look at Magnus's game, because I just want to show you guys. Look at his king on g3. And he's a piece up. No, Magnus is an exchange down. But as of now, this is attack. But Magnus is an exchange down. And he's winning, I think, because queen c7. How do you defend both the mate threats? Acha, he first takes. Now queen c7. Still, how do you defend both the threats? Should be over after queen c7. Yeah, he plays queen c7. Should be the last move. Resign incoming. Yes, and the game is over. Magnus has won the last round for him for today. Right now he looks fresh, but the tournament's done. Okay, so we are now going to see Gukesh versus Eric, and let's look at the finish. Rooks have doubled here on c file. The threat is rook c1. How do you stop that? If rook g2, there is a nice little tactic in the air, guys. e2. If rook g2, there is e2. If you take rook, oh, it's over. Eric has resigned and Gukesh has won the game. I think things very much changed at this point, where this guy could make a move like f5. Yeah, that was really crazy move. Though Eric blundered his rook, I think he blundered. Though he blundered, just this structure here with f5, what Gukesh played was amazing. Anyway, now let's stick to Aditya versus Arjun's game and see if there is any twist possible, or is Aditya going to keep playing flawless chess? Knight f4. Is the threat rook e2? No, there goes king f3, attacking both these guys here. CD5. I think Aditya has 1 minute, by the way. Arjun has 4 minutes. Those 3 minute, that 3 minute time difference, will it really matter much or not is another question. I don't think so in this position it's going to matter much, because white पे ज़्यादा pressure भी नहीं है. He's relaxed in some way or the other. So G5 wants to keep this control, but whenever CD5 happens, knight D5 will have to happen. Then you want to kick the knight away from D5 because you want D5. Once white gets D5, look at this king. Another misery there. So G5. What is Aditya thinking? He has 35 seconds. Aditya, you have to take the pawn. Yes, he takes the pawn. Most natural move. Arjun takes the pawn back. As we discussed, queen c5 attacks the knight. You cannot keep the knight on d5 anymore. There is no way. He gives a check. A momentary thing. You can take here. In fact, there is no problem even if you take there. He goes king f2. Goes a little safe. Now the time has come to move the knight. Whether f6, you cannot go to f4 now. There is queen f5 check. Oh my god. In fact, where is the knight going to go? Knight f4, queen f5 check. There is knight e6. He goes knight f6 because if queen f5 check now, then there is rook e6. But d5 तो फिर भी आ ही रहा है. I don't think he has a choice. King e7 को rook e1 आ रहा है. Anyway, lose another piece. He goes rook e6. No, this is zero chance. Yeah, कोई chance नहीं है. Aditya beating Arjun in this fashion. I mean, amazing. Of course, Arjun did try to play some unusual opening. We can even call it slightly inferior line what he played, but to not give any chance to him is not easy. It's not just the material difference here, also the pawn on a4. It's a clear-cut plan. Yeah, you can just also keep the rook on a1 if you want. He goes rook e1, exchanges one rook. That's the safest thing. It's one rook for a queen. He's soon going to have a resignation. By the way, Duda versus Abdul Satara is also kind of interesting. Most of the games are over today. Anish drew with Naroditsky. Magnus beat Niels. Mamedero beat Hari Krishna. Vincent lost to Vidit. Gukesh beat Eric Hansen. And right now, Arjun versus Aditya, they are playing. The king looks safe after a long time, but it's too late. Queen g4 now, winning another pawn. Okay, you have queen at 7 as well, because that also stops rook c2. He goes bishop a4, threatening bishop b3 check, winning the knight. How do you stop it? Aditya is very relaxed actually, not tensed. Arjun is definitely sad. Goes king d6. So stops the bishop b3 idea, gives the pawn but saves the knight. Don't want to resign because you want to still keep fighting. You don't want to accept this is clearly losing. It's and this attitude has also got all those lost games being converted into something. But now it's over because you lose another piece here. Oh my god, Aditya has beaten Arjun Erigasi, a big result. The first time Aditya is playing this tournament, and the way he has played tremendous chess. Opening definitely went wrong for Arjun, but Aditya managed to play some flawless chess. And well, let's have a look at the standings right now. Duda is still playing. Let's have a look at that. Duda, Mamedara on 24, 23. Gukesh has moved to number 3 and Arjun on number 4. So they both are at third, fourth. Magnus is following Arjun now. He's on number 5. Nadir Bege versus Duda is going on. We'll quickly look at it. Anish just after the quick draw, he went to 7th place, rised by 1 place in fact. Richard Rapo, Naruritsky. Okay, Vidit has moved to 10th place. So if you see, there are 9th, 10th, 11th. There is a good chance. It all depends tomorrow. And Aditya also has moved to 12th place. Yeah, Duda's game ended in a draw with Nadirbeg. And is there any game playing? Okay, wait. Yes, there is one game going on. Richard Rapo versus David Anton. Looks like a draw. All the other games are over. So guys, looking at the standings, do you think there is any chance for Vidit and Aditya? Yes, I think if tomorrow, if Aditya is able to play some, like beat everybody, then definitely he has a chance. Vidit is on 14, he also has some chance. Yes, Vidit can qualify if he wins 2 out of 3. Okay. I don't know the. Tomorrow only 3 rounds. Got it. Gukesh and Arjun, shall we consider it as for sure? $14. Yeah, I think Gukesh and Arjun are sure. I mean, almost like 90% sure. So Vidit and Aditya. So tomorrow we will understand. We have to also see the pairing who is playing against who. Okay, that's cool. So we will see you guys tomorrow at the same time, but only 3 rounds. So all of you will be able to go home early. I mean, go home nahi. Go away from YouTube early and study well. मज़ा करेंगे. बाद में मिलते हैं. All of you have a good day. Have a good night. This game is going to end in a draw. 1 minute each. ठीक है, 2 ही मिनट बचा है ना. Let's just look at it. I mean, sometimes some twists do happen. Do you ever wish for a twist in your life? Or are you happy the way it is going on? Black is actually a pawn down, but The knight is nicely placed and the e5 pawn is closer to the king. So actually Richard is pressing this. Okay, we have Saran saying the pairing Gukesh as Aditya, Kemar and Rapo tomorrow. Okay, got it. Mayur says twist positive रहा तो जरूर. नहीं, that is not the question, Mayur. Do you want the twist? मतलब you don't know क्या हो सकता है. But if right now you're happy in life or not is the thing. So it's a risk. Twist मतलब risk ना. Positive है तो सबको ही चाहिए. Even if you're happy, you want that. So of course you don't know that yet. इस पे अटैक किया है किंग b2. अभी ये खेलो. No, rook d4. It's more like a fortress. Yeah, white does not have a way to progress. ये रैंक पे ऐसा होल्ड है. This cannot go here nor here because of the knight. This even if it goes here there is no entry. So यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ नहीं. So the rook doesn't have entry anywhere from there. If the rook tries to go here, then यहाँ नहीं, यहाँ नहीं, it has here. But if it tries to go there, then e5 is also going to be weak. So black will attack whenever it leaves the e3. Okay, so now I understand. Though white is clearly a pawn up, there is no progress. When there is no progress, it means stagnancy. In life, if you feel that there is stagnancy, try to sort the problem. Sometimes you might go worse while solving the problem, but it is okay. You are going to rise up. Just don't stay stagnant. I don't know. I find life very boring if it is stagnant. h4 gh4. ठीक है, और एक फाइल ओपन तो हुई, बट अगेन दिस रुक कैन गो टू g3. Can the rook go back? But then there is no check would be a blunder. King c3. Maybe I am good at finding only blunders. King c3, rook a4. King d2. Exchange करो. ठीक है, रुक f4. Okay guys, I think this is going to end in a draw. There is really no twist I am able to see here. So have a good night and see you tomorrow.